a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The Lions weren't alone on the boat. Also on board were 300 stoats and weasels, who were brought over to eliminate New Zealand's rabbit problem. The first ever Lions captain, Robert Seddon, died of drowning midway through the tour while sculling on a river. Andrew Stoddart, who was another of the cricketers there, took over and was the star of the tour. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. Before World War II, the Lions had a dark blue strip, which on the 1930 tour forced the All Blacks to play in all white. So in 1950, the iconic red shirts, white shorts and blue and green socks combination was born. It remains the symbol of the greatest alliance of adversaries in all of sport. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
A very, very good morning to you. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside me, the one and only Tony Cascarino. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Very good to be with you today. Coming up for you in the show, the Premier League is up and running. Yes, it's back. We're going to look back on Liverpool's late win against Bournemouth last night.
Salah will get to it in front of Hill. Left edge of the area. Salah trying to seal it here. Right foot shot! You bet he sealed it! Mo Salah does what he does best!
What a game it was. We'll look back on the champions and their start as they try to defend their title win with a victory. Eventually, Antoine Semenyo scored a brace for Bournemouth despite reportedly being racially abused from the stands, overshadowing the game last night. We'll have a full preview of all the weekend's Premier League action as the rest of the league gets underway this weekend.
3-2 to Liverpool on talkSPORT. The Premier League is back in session, and what a way to kick off the new campaign.
Could it be a big year for Thomas Frank's Spurs? We'll discuss their chances of a successful season too.
I see us wanting and certainly striving to be back in a European position come the end of next season.
The thoughts of Clive Allen, we'll get his thoughts, and the thoughts of Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy as well. We'll look ahead to all of that, the EFL and the SPL action all going on today, and we want to hear from you as ever. That number 03717 223344, or you can text us 81089. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. And breathe, Cass, and breathe. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. I had a couple of good days in Ireland. Came back yesterday.
Which part of Ireland?
I was at Leopardstown, just sort of about 25 kilometres outside Dublin.
Lovely.
It was great fun.
Did you do the cold water swimming?
No, it was there. I was at the racetrack because it's a great place to, if you want to go and watch horse racing in Ireland. The Curragh, Leopardstown, brilliant. It's lovely, beautiful.
The place to be.
Yeah,
I love Ireland. See when you've got a sunny
So
day.
do I.
There's no place you'd rather be.
No, and certain parts of it, whether you want to go to Galway, you want to go to West Coast, Mayo and Donegal, some beautiful places. That's without Dublin and Wickford, and just beautiful.
Oh, I know. We spend a lot of our time as well in Northern Ireland, where my nanny was from. And there's a wee place just outside Downpatrick called Coney Island, near Ardglass.
Yeah, I've heard of Coney Island, yeah.
And, oh God, now just take the kids there. Go run on the beach, find a jellyfish, find a crab, come back to me in 2 hours.
I know, it's stunning. Yeah, it's stunning, yeah.
Some beautiful spots. Good morning in Ireland and Northern Ireland. Let's look back on the game, shall we, last night. Friday night football. Premier League is back. Liverpool kicked off their defence of the title at home to Bournemouth. It finished 4-2 to the champions. And the game was live for you, of course, right here on talkSPORT.
Ekitike bursting through the middle for Liverpool. He scored on his Premier League debut. TK with his back to goal. Now Gakpo into the penalty area. Takes aim. What a finish. Cody Gakpo. Brooks his cross. Semenyo's there and he's tucked it in. Through Allison. And a route back in for Bournemouth. Semenyo goes on with a run. What a goal. It's 2-2. What an extraordinary moment. It's swinging cross. Jones is there, denied. Chiesa! That's the winner. Salah trying to seal it here. Right foot shot. You bet he sealed it. Mo Salah does what he does best. They're going to beat Bournemouth by 4-2.
Yeah, 4-2 to Liverpool in the end at Anfield, live on talkSPORT last night. Cass, that was a fascinating old game. It had a bit of everything, didn't it?
Amazing to see, because when Jurgen Klopp had his heavy metal football, everyone lauded it and incredible. And what we saw last season was a slightly more pragmatic Arne Slot's team, and they've won the title. Last night, this was heavier metal football more than Jurgen Klopp. Yeah. I mean, I did a podcast on Thursday and I said Liverpool will be the top goal scorers in the Premier League. I said the one big concern is that they will concede goals.
Yeah.
Because they will. And you can tell the way they played last night. And Bournemouth are brilliant at counter-attacking, so fair play to them. I think the most important player at Liverpool this year is going to be Gravenberch, because he is going to have to protect the back four, because it's quite ominous watching Liverpool. I mean, when I saw the lineup and I saw Szoboszlai and McAllister in midfield, I'm thinking, well, there's not much protection there. And you see the two fullbacks, Kirkes and Frimpong, moving forward, and they're going to get exposed and exploited, Liverpool. So
Gravenberch suspended last night as well. I mean, 14 minutes into the game, Cass, we're talking about VAR for the handball. Handball. How was that not a handball?
Don't know. I can't explain. I can't explain because it was obvious it was handball.
If you don't know the rules of handball anymore, what chance have I got in this life?
No, when I first saw it, it's a simple, answer. Clearly, it's a handball. He's deliberately moved his arm or his hand to stop the ball in front of Ekitike. And, there isn't no debate. Yeah. I don't think there's anything you can... What can I say that's going to make people think any different? Because it was so obvious. Yeah. It was a really weird night because it was The Good, Bad and the Ugly. I'm old enough to remember the film The Good, Bad and the Ugly with Clint Eastwood, and there was some... I mean, the good was just how amazing a game it was.
Yeah.
It was just... That's Liverpool. I mean, if you've got a season ticket, any club to watch week in, week out, it's going to be Liverpool, because they're extraordinary when they go forward and the type of goals they're capable of getting. It was the good and the bad. Well, we'll talk about the ugly, I'm sure, at some stage this morning anyway.
We will. Chiesa getting the goal to bring Liverpool back into it to make it 3-2, and then Mo Salah does what Mo Salah does. It would be an unusual start to the season without Mo Salah scoring.
I felt a bit guilty because last week I said something, and I spoke about Salah and said that he looked quite disinterested in the Community Shield.
Interesting.
But I think I missed something, and it was quite evident that Mo Salah, as more than any other Liverpool player, has been affected. We'll say more other. That's unfair on the other lads, but just the Jota thing, because they sat close to each other, they were very close, and I think Mo was a little bit the way he played in the Community Shield, he just looked like he was not there.
Yeah.
He was so unrecognisable, because everyone has bad games. We all do. And watching him last night, he didn't play particularly well again, but Mo has always had the ability to not play well and in a game, do a moment. Forget his goal, the Chiesa pass.
Yeah.
the pass that he's just seen that little ball, which he does brilliantly well, just is where the centre-half doesn't want to get to, and it's not sure if the keeper's going to come out, and then someone like Chiesa comes in, that type of goal.
Yeah, no, the goals were absolutely magnificent, as were the two from Antoine Semenyo. Now, about 20 minutes into the game, you'll have seen this last night, both managers were brought to the kind of technical area to speak to one of the fourth officials. We're all kind of trying to suss out what's going on here, what's happened here. Commentary was fairly quiet at that moment, and then it was revealed that there was reported racial abuse reported from Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth to the official. The game was stopped for a brief moment. Everybody agreed that it was an absolute disgrace, and they were definitely on the lookout for what was going on there. Here we are into a brand new season, Cass. We were speaking about the racism as well that had happened over the weekend to the Spurs player in the Super Cup, Matthias Tell. And here we are now again in a new season, and this happens in a game. I mean, what is going on in this world?
Unfortunately, you get 62,000 crowd, and you get someone who decides to vent his anger or whatever at a player, and then obviously racially abuses him, and the other 61,999 take the criticism as well in some way. It's an individual. What do you do with an individual who decides in any shape or form to go out and shout things or abuse a player? There isn't. The answer is you identify them, and once you identify them, you ban them. That's it.
I saw a tweet, Merseyside Police confirmed that a 47-year-old man was ejected from Anfield following reports of racist abuse directed towards Bournemouth's Antoine Semenyo. An investigation is underway. It won't be tolerated at this day and age. The fact that it's still happening is an absolute disgrace. It was a tough season opening for Bournemouth as well. Fair play to Antoine Semenyo to keep going and score two brilliant goals in that game as well. But after the match, Andoni Iraola, the manager of Bournemouth, spoke exclusively to talkSPORT following these reports.
I think he has acted really composed. No, he has talked with the referee. The referee has explained the situation to Aherne, to me. Obviously, live I didn't notice anything, but for sure, Antoine has been after the incident thinking on these things. To be fair, I think Liverpool have done a good job identifying also the person, even the players. No, after the game, trying to support Antoine, and now probably I've seen him worse after the game when he was in the changing room and probably thinking on things that he shouldn't be thinking.
Fair play to him to report it exactly when he did.
Yeah, and
showing good character.
Do you know what there's something like redemption there in some way where he ends up getting a brace and it didn't affect his performance. In some ways, it might say maybe more determined, but give him a lot of credit. He's took it on board. He's got on with the game, played, and then leaving it down to the people within, the laws to go and arrest someone or an inquiry of just get the guy out the ground, punish him, whatever you can do, and then move on. But it's still happening. I've always been quite proud that the Premier League in general is really good, and we have way more less than other countries. That doesn't make it okay. That just makes it that we're on the right road. But you have to be severe in these moments. Zero tolerance. That's all it can be. Because there's no, whether anyone listening think, there's a rhyme or reason. There's not. You can't carry on like this. So that was refreshing that it was dealt with in the right way. He's ended up playing the game, and he's played the game to a super high level. Everyone knows he's a great player anyway, because he is. I've watched him numerous times, Semenyo. Very, very dangerous. And he got on with the game and let the law take its action.
Yeah, and hopefully it will. Yeah, thinking of him today, it's shocking. And then you even see the slow-mo at half-time as well. He's so disappointed in his face that he's reported that. You can see in his face going, why am I putting up with this? Why do I have to put up with this? It's bizarre, and it overshadowed what was an emotional occasion of Diogo Jota.
Yeah.
and the tributes to him and the fan base all coming together, football coming together, and of course what was a brilliant game as well. Jason Cundy last night was talking about making sure that players report the incident when it happens, and making sure that they take action as well. Perhaps maybe in time you'll see a strike if stuff like that happens. Players will walk off the pitch. It's just got to stop. It's a disgrace. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll start our previews of today's action and get Cass's thoughts and predictions for this season ahead. Good morning.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans. It's done by the fans.
Yes! Oh! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences. That.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
To you. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside me, former FA Cup finalist Tony Cascarino, and a little bit of Madge. Look at you lighting up like a candle at the The sound of Madonna.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't choose Madonna songs too often, but she's been an icon, hasn't she, for over a number of decades. So.
She's got some bangers, to be fair to her. Some absolute tunes, hasn't she?
Yeah, she. I spoke to Vinnie Jones. Obviously, he knew her through Guy Ritchie, and he used to call her Madge on telephone calls, and he said she didn't like it. But he said, I'd love to give her a bit of a wind up.
Is Madonna a real name, or is that the daftest thing I've ever said?
No, that's not a real name. I can't remember her real name, but it is different. It's not Madonna.
Madonna. She came up with a good one there. Yeah. Very, very good name. I met a girl one time called Madonna.
Yeah.
Seriously, I did.
Maradona?
Her name is Madonna. Her name is Madonna. Her birth name is Madonna.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some mad and wacky names, you see. I mean, there is, who's the artist? Frank Zappa. Is an American artist. He named his kids some really funny names, Moon something, and just a crazy name. Well, I say crazy, just so obscure.
Oh, it's quite different. I mean, Madonna and Drum Chapel. You know that is going to be a good giggle at school. She puts the mad in Madonna. By the way, she's 67 today.
Yeah. Is she really?
67,
wow.
Yeah.
I knew she was in her mid-60s. I would have thought about 64, 65, but 67. And she's had quite a lot of work done, hasn't she, in the last few years?
Unless she just has some very, very good multivitamins. Madonna, Beyonce, or Taylor Swift? Who's your favourite? That's a tough one.
Oh, I'd probably go Madonna. Yeah. Beyonce's a legend and loads of songs, but not really my type of music. So I would probably go Madonna out of them three.
I think this day and age, I've got to go for a Swift.
Have you?
Oh, Swiftie all day, but then Beyonce's unreal. I've seen her live a few times, but then Madonna's she's an icon of the ages, isn't she?
Yeah, when she was with Destiny's Child as well, wasn't it? Beyonce. Yeah, look, they're all brilliant in their own right,
Absolutely, absolutely. Looking ahead to the games then coming up for you today here on talkSPORT, 12:30, Aston Villa versus Newcastle here on talkSPORT, 12:30, and then over on talkSPORT 2 exclusively for you from the Championship. Wrexham take on West Brom, 12:30 kick-off. If you haven't already, you can download the talkSPORT app. You can swipe across to talkSPORT 2 and keep across. Wrexham versus West Brom and Villa versus Newcastle is right here for you here on talkSPORT. Who do you think, Cass, are the title contenders this season? I mean, you probably dream about this most nights.
My top three would be Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea. I think they will be the three. I'm not sure about City. I think there's been so much has gone on with defensively, looking at Akanji, looking at Diaz, John Stones and his injuries. There's a lot of things that have happened to City in the last year. The loss of Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland's injury. Then you look at, obviously, in front of the back four, protecting, Rodri. What a player he is for them. All of these, he has got to come back in, and he's obviously suffered another injury.
So has he had a bit of a setback?
Yeah, setback to his ACL, yeah. And he's back in September, sometime, mid-September. So Rodri is a big miss for them. I think De Bruyne, I still would have loved to have seen another year from him because I still think he had a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Haaland has had a number of injuries. And I look at the back line, the centre-half position, I'm not quite sure if City are quite as good in that area. I say not quite sure. I'm just not convinced that they're good enough to. And then they can't challenge for the biggest transfers now. So that's another issue for them.
I mean,
they've done loads of business, but they couldn't do the Wirtz deal.
Yeah.
And Pep Guardiola openly admitted that they couldn't compete in that market.
Yeah. The last window was good as well. I mean, the players that they do bring in.
Oh, they've got terrific. And it'll be really interesting to see what type of Pep Guardiola teams, because so many teams have copied the model
of Manchester
City as well.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder. Yeah, you're right. And what kind of Pep we'll see? Because obviously that's the thing from the Club World Cup. I mean, to be beaten by a Saudi team.
Yeah.
It's almost a bit of where is it all going wrong here? But I think they're still ever so slightly being underrated going into this new season, Manchester City, because Pep Guardiola hasn't lost a title twice in a row, has he?
No. Well, let's go back a year, Shebahn. How many people do you think, including myself, would have thought Man City would have won the title last year?
I know.
Nearly everybody.
Yeah.
So here we are a year later, and very few are predicting City to win the league. I mean, I don't think they'll do it this year. I just think, like I said, there's a number of defensive issues at City.
Interesting. What about relegation? That good old R word.
Yeah. I think Burnley have got the biggest ask because obviously they lost Trafford, the goalkeeper, Egan Riley, the centre-half, who was part of their brilliant back four last year. And so they've lost 2 positions there. I'm not sure how Brozier will do for Burnley because obviously they took him from Chelsea. So there's a lot of ifs and buts around Burnley because their defensive record will mean very little in the Premier League. Yeah. You're up against super talented players week in, week out. So it's a massive ask for Scotty Parker. He's got to get so many calls right.
Yeah. Any concerns for Brentford? I know now.
I believe...
Don't you dare go there with Brentford, but I mean...
No, I would... The only thing I'd say on Brentford is any team with the model that they have, like Brighton, Bournemouth, Brentford, to me, it's very much they know how to reinvent themselves. Mm-hmm. So I don't see that as a big of issue as most people do.
Okay. What about dark horses for the season ahead? Anybody we're not considering as yet? Anybody you think might make the European...
Well, look, the one team I'm concerned about, and I'm not saying this because... of any other reason, is I'm not sure about West Ham this year. I thought there was a lot of pessimism at the end of last season going into this year. I think Graham Potter has really got to win over the faithful very quickly. They've lost Kudos. I think Fulcro has got to work for them because he was way too much injured last year. The goalkeeper is a problem to be sorted. West Ham will have enough muscle to change a few things. If they had an injury to Jared Bowen, I would absolutely think they could be in a relegation fight.
Yeah.
Because I think he's that important to them.
I heard Cundy saying last night, was it last night, the night before, he was saying that he thinks Spurs?
No, I don't think Spurs will.
And I don't know if he's just saying that for pure rage bait.
He does love to wind up Spurs.
Obviously, and to wind up
Jason,
his sidekick, Jamie O'Hara, sitting next to them. By the way, Madonna is her full name.
Oh, right.
Madonna's her real name.
I thought it was...
You would think stage name, wouldn't you?
Sorry?
You would think it's her stage name.
Well, I would have done, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's he messaging in about?
Is that a listener telling you that?
It's a number of listeners.
Yeah, a number of listeners. Well, like always, the listeners know a lot more than us sometimes, don't they? Where they come in and they tell us and say, by the way, that is her real name. Yeah. I didn't. I always thought that was a...
They're never there when we're right, by the way. But as soon as you get something wrong...
That's the world we live in, Shebahn.
I know. Good morning, lovely people.
I'll get enough wrong, so... And I don't look too much at the messages.
I know, they're all popping up in front of me just now. Honestly, who's more iconic, Madonna or Maradona? Oh, stop it, Sam. You've gone full Jason Cundy on us there. Coming up next for you on Weekend Breakfast, we'll be getting on the road. We speak to a Bristol Rovers fan in the supporters coach heading to Chesterfield today. Yeah, out on the road with the supporters buses. Looking forward to that. This is Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT with NordVPN. Get your talkSPORT exclusive offer today with 72% off a 2-year plan and an extra 4 months free. Terms and conditions apply. You can find out more at nordvpn.com/talkSPORT. We're on the road next. Good morning, how's it going? You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Villa and Millwall forward Tony Cascarino is in the house. We're building up to 12:30 kick-off on talkSPORT today. You've got Aston Villa versus Newcastle on talkSPORT over on talkSPORT 2. You can swipe across there on the talkSPORT app to the Championship for Wrexham versus West Brom. Who's your man you're talking about then?
Oh, yeah, Frank Zappa. I looked up and I knew his children had quite obscure names.
Unusual.
Unusual,
unique.
Yeah, that's the word. Moon Zappa was his eldest daughter, and her second name is Unit, so Moon Unit. And a name Unit was given because he thought she'd last forever. So he called her Moon Unit. Oh, right. And then it's Dweezil Zappa, was one of his sons. Dweezil, yeah. Dweezil is, again. And he's got a Diva Zappa.
A Diva?
His youngest daughter's Diva. But yeah, odd names. You see this. Look, everyone has their choice of a name they,
of course,
they love. But honestly, some of them are pretty weird. They are weird, aren't they?
Yeah, I saw a good clip on TikTok yesterday. It was like call your kids after something that you love. So I've renamed mine
Chocolate.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon
Blanc and rosé all day. Come see your mama. Come see mum. Some of your other headlines you're waking up to this Saturday.
Guinness. I call my Guinness. I love a Guinness. Come here, Guinness.
Baby Guinness. Just imagine again. Somebody probably does have a baby Guinness out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I know.
Nothing would surprise me.
Oh gosh, it's time now to take our second away trip of the season. We take our soon-to-be regular look inside the supporters' coach. I like this morning. Hardy Bristol Rovers fans are on the way up to Chesterfield ahead of their 12:30 kick-off in League 2. I believe they've just set off. It's a long old road ahead, and we can speak to one of the supporters on the bus this morning. Good morning to Martin Hudd from the Bristol Rovers Supporters Club. Morning, Martin. How are you?
Hi, Martin.
I'm good, thank you. Good morning.
I was going to say, Martin, first up is that you are the 12:30 kickoff as well, so that is a really early start.
Yeah, we got the coach station run about sort of just after 5 this morning. We have 2 pickups normally in Bristol, so we've just got one on board. So we're literally just setting off from our home ground in Memorial Stadium.
What's the vibe like at this time in the morning, Martin? Because it does take a wee while to liven up, shall we say, or is everyone just up for it? Back on the road, football's back, the vibes are good.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good vibe on the away coach, because obviously games like this, you get your sort of regular supporters, really, so we're one big family. However, obviously this time of morning, a few of them are a little bit sort of probably a little bit quieter than they would normally be, probably due to a little bit more excess alcohol the night before. But yeah, I'm sure it'll liven up as the day goes on. Result obviously sort of dependent on the way back.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say to you, Martin, obviously 3 defeats on the bounce. I know a couple in the league, but it's not really warming the hearts of the Bristol Rovers faithful at the start of the season so far, is it?
No, I mean, especially after the tail end of last season, where we ended up getting relegated. We had a feel-good factor during the close season with obviously Darryl Clark coming back as our manager. But yeah, I wouldn't say the honeymoon period's over yet, but clearly, he's got a lot of work on his plate.
How'd you see this one going today? You looking forward to this game?
Yeah, we're being Bristol supporters. We're forever optimistic, never pessimistic. It's going to be a tough one. Chesterfield are, I think, one of the favourites to get promoted. Historically, we don't do well at Chesterfield. But, these are the games that we'd like to see the sort of players are up for, really. They've got a point to prove, really, to the loyal fans. So hopefully they'll turn up today, because they haven't for the last 3 matches, unfortunately.
Well, look, one thing I've always said about Bristol, your rivals, Bristol City, always get good attendances. Like you boys, you've struggled to get to the Championship, and you've found it very difficult. People like Ian Holloway have had a go. It's a team that can get great support behind them. The 2 Bristol clubs are very much similar for that.
Yeah, I mean, as I sort of said, we'll always get our regulars attend matches, through thick and thin, which I think is a credit to them all. And yeah, we'll always be there for the club, as the old sort of saying goes, managers and players come and go, but the fans are the one consistent, aren't they? So, so yeah, we'll always back the boys, no matter what.
Fair play to you. I mean, I always get pelters that I'm a plastic fan, and then I look at you on this bus at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm like, yeah, that's probably pretty true. I mean, how many trips do you do? Because I mean, you don't miss a journey, do you?
No, we do them all. Like I said, myself and a colleague, we organise away travel, so we're the one constant sort of face, if you like, on the coach. Obviously, you know, we've had a long one last Saturday at Fleetwood, 6.5 hour journey because of an unfortunate accident. We've got Grimsby this month as well, so we've got 3 long away trips this month. But we'll be there, smiling and cheering them on.
Do you have a partner, Martin? Sorry, do you have a partner?
Yeah, I have a wife.
So she married into this arrangement?
No. I mean, she used to come to the games when we first met, but I think that was just a rouse to get me married to her, so she didn't go anymore. So she probably can't see the back of me, to be honest, because my day job, I work from home quite a lot, so she's probably glad to see the back of me.
A roundabout figure, Martin. What does this cost you a year? You know, to be a Bristol Rovers fan, because there's many fans who you know, their hard work money that they earn put into their football club by following them, supporting them all over the country, and this is a common theme. So what roundabout money do you spend on an annual basis to be a supporter of Bristol Rovers?
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, literally everybody on the coach, like myself, we're season ticket holders, so, you know, you're talking, you know, where I stand, because I'm old school, stand on terracing, you're talking sort of not a lot of change at £400.
Yeah.
And like I said, each individual match, I mean, you know, you're talking, especially some of the games we've got this month, the best part of £45 to £50 a game to travel, and then there's a match ticket. So I would say if you sort of basically average that out around about sort of £80 to £100 an away game, you know, that soon mounts up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, just shows your loyalty. That's what it does to your football team.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a loyal, good fan. Fair play to you, Martin Hudds, and to everyone on the bus today. Can we get a big cheer from the bus this morning? Is you able to get the troops rallied up on talkSPORT?
I'll put my camera and I'll get them. Can you have a big cheer for talkSPORT, please?
Yes, love to hear it.
There you go.
20 to 7 in the morning, you're asking a lot of them.
Drivers like that, keep it down, and I'll chuck you all off. Martin Hurd, lovely to have you there from the Bristol Rovers Supporters Club on the road this morning.
I asked that question because, you know, so much is invested in football clubs.
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know, you're you know, following. I'm talking going down the lower tiers as well, going down to the National League and below. Fans that go and follow these clubs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're out on the road this morning, you can let us know your mile trip. So that's a 440-mile round trip for those fans today. That's brilliant. You know, just absolutely going for it. We'll follow the team.
Giving up your whole Saturday to go to Chesterfield to watch your team up at 6 or probably up at 5 or before, and you won't get in till when tonight? 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night?
All for the love of your team and for
for your
football.
lovely team.
No, it's great to hear. You can let us know where you're heading today on the road. Can you beat Martin and the Bristol Rovers clan in their trip today? Drop us a text, 81089. Or you can send us a voice note this morning from the bus that you're on or the car that you're in, 03717 223344. We're reacting to what was that big win last night for Liverpool and the return of the Premier League. They beat Bournemouth at 4-2. It was a game absolutely filled with events. 14 minutes in, was it a handball? Why wasn't it a sending off? Kind of lucky it wasn't a sending off because it would have killed the game instantly. We had 6 excellent goals, to be fair, from both sides, and of course that racist incident directed towards Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth. We believe an investigation there is underway, and then of course there was the emotional tributes towards Diogo Jota, and last night after the game, Liverpool's Arne Slot reflected on the tragic passing of Jota.
The only thing what I said before the game was, I know one thing for sure, our fans will again be amazing when it comes to the tribute they will do for Diogo. And the only thing I can ask from you in return to that is that you guys give everything to these fans that do so many special things. It is about Diogo today. The fans will give him the tribute he deserves. Now let's us play for the fans then, and I think that's what they did after the 2-2. With the help again of our fans, because the last 6-7 minutes I was very special. And even after the game, I would have preferred to stay outside, but I saw so many players walking inside of gate. I thought, but I wanted to thank them for how special they made this day for the family of Diogo.
They really did. It was some wonderful tributes, very emotional. I actually saw a quote there from Slot saying, you know, he was looking at the bench thinking, where's Diogo? You know, you think it's, you know, sadly, I think it's so sad because life goes on. But it's just so strange that he's not there, and saying that in the dressing room his seat's become a bit of a shrine where players are just having a moment. Mo Salah didn't want to leave the pitch last night. He was taking that moment in with the fans, visibly upset as well. But yeah, I mean, a great result for Liverpool, and a great start to the return of the Premier League as well. Yeah,
I've never been in a dressing room where I've lost a colleague. You know, obviously sad things happen at times, and there's other people that might, you know, a partner might have been, you know, have died along the way, or, you know, just things that are really terrible that happen. I remember Tommy Coyne lost his wife many moons ago, who played for Celtic and Tranmere and Republic of Ireland. You know, these sort of things happen, and, you know, there's a real hole in the heart of the club, and also the players get very affected, but also, you know, sometimes children as well. It's just really, really sad. And Diogo is affected, you know, not only for him, but his family. And I thought about this in midweek, just generally about, imagine losing two children, you know, that you've nurtured all that way and having a great life in front of them, and suddenly it's all taken away from you, and how you deal with that. That must be so challenging. So
cruel. And then their parents must have last night have seen, you know, how many people stand with them and are behind them and are thinking of them and sending those well wishes. And that's what's beautiful about football as well. You know,
well, it can be,
will always be there.
About people as well, you know, just people having so much empathy and sadness, and they don't know what it's like, because if they haven't experienced it like I haven't, you know, or you haven't, you know, that experience of losing someone so close to you, that, you know, you understand how difficult that must be. Yeah. That's such a challenge for the parents. And his wife and the children, you know, just think of all them things that it's so complex and brings in so many different people.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he was in the thoughts of so many last night, and I'm sure he will continue to be, especially for the Liverpool fans who were magnificent last night as well. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll discuss all the EFL action coming up for you. talkSPORT 2. We've got 3 more commentaries from the Championship coming up. Adrian Clark will be with us to preview all of those next. This is Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans that's done by the fans.
Yes! Goal! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
A very good morning to you. You're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT with Shebahn, and former Gillingham striker Tony Cascarino is here. Fair play to all of you on the road this morning. Up and at 'em. Football is well and truly back. Good morning to Mike, Will, Ash and Grandad John. 4 Gatesheads. Gasheads?
Gasheads.
What's that mean?
Well, away with the fairies, or, you know. I don't know.
Bristol Rovers fans. 4 Bristol Rovers fans away with the fairies.
You've got to be pretty, Shebahn, you've got to be pretty crazy to have 3 defeats on the spin, then do a 12:30 Saturday morning kickoff. You've got to be right up there with, I mean, that's dedication that I can't believe.
Sam just said that their old stadium was on the gasworks, so that's why they're called
right.
the Gasheads. That makes perfect sense, guys. Travel safely today. So you've got another gashead next to me in the studio. Morning to Connor from Scotland here. He said, me and my dad making the 640-mile round trip to head to the Stadium of Light for the Black Cats Premier League return today. Lovely jubbly. Good morning to Steve. Exeter versus Mansfield, 12:30 kickoff, 4:30am start, 446-mile round trip up the Stags. Have a very good one.
Do you know what's funny? Because, you know, we use these names like gasheads or whatever, and we have someone in Ireland, they'll say spacers.
Spacers,
you know? Yeah, and which I used to find really funny, because I used to think, well, obviously I was brought up in sort of South London, come North Kent. That was, you know, Orpington to my dad's side of the family with the Elephant and Castle. But of course, when I heard the spacers and things, I used to think it was funny.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it is.
Yeah, you know, in Scotland.
We say some really bad words.
Oh, but
in Scotland.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the worst word you can call someone. We say that in a nice way.
Oh, right, okay.
Dare you to say on air. Wait till 8 o'clock. Some of your other headlines you're waking up to this morning. Ronnie O'Sullivan compiled 247 breaks and a 60 victory over Chris Wakelin in the semi-finals of the Saudi Arabian Masters. Also becoming the oldest player to make a maximum. Unstoppable. The 7-time world champion produced a stunning exhibition of cue ball control to register the 16th maximum of his career in the opening frame, and his first in competition for 17.
Can I just make a point? I watched his previous round, and he didn't play well. He was down 5-2 to I think it was a Chinese player, and he was down 5-2, and he looked like he was and he ended up getting back to 5-5 and won the final frame. So he gets through. And then in the next round he plays, and he ends up getting 2 maximums. I mean, that is unprecedented. No one ever gets 2 bad. I mean, I've never heard that before. In the same match, someone getting 2 1-4-7s. Ronnie is just such an enigma of how brilliant he can be. But when he's disinterested, it feels like he's not even wanting to be there. Yeah. He's just he is a spacer.
He's a spacer, yeah. Gashead Ronnie O'Sullivan. In other news, Harry Brook produced a stunning moment of batting genius. Another great moment as Northern Superchargers enjoyed the 36-run win over Birmingham Phoenix in the 100. Victory for the Superchargers saw them move to the top of the table in the 100 on 12 points from 4 games, while Phoenix are bottom of the table with 4 points as well. And Chelsea take on Crystal Palace tomorrow. Levi Colwill set to miss the majority of the season, bless him, because of injury, and boss Enzo Maresca insisted that the club is in need of reinforcements despite having 8 centre-backs in their first team squad.
We are trying to find solution internally, but the club know exactly what I think, and we'll see what's happening.
What do you think?
I think we need a centre defender, but we'll see. Also, we are looking for internally a solution. But as I said, the club knows exactly what I think.
Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca there. Would you agree with him there, Cass?
Well, they have got quite a few. They can put in Tosin in there, Shalabar can play there. They've had an injuries to a number of players, and Colwell's a big loss for them. I think he made it quite clear as soon as Colwell got injured that they needed another centre half.
Yeah.
And that's the one position that I think Chelsea, if they're going to make the top four or even challenge for the title, I think that's the one position that they have to get right, is just in front of the keeper.
I'm curious about Chelsea this season,
But they're a really good side.
Yeah,
when they get it, their midfield is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You look at Palmer, you look at Enzo, for us, and then you look at, obviously, Caicedo is just an absolute machine in midfield, and Lavia is back up. They've got one hell of an engine in that midfield.
Yeah, looking forward to that. By the way, Chelsea against Palace today. All of the updates coming for you on Game Day Live with Adrian Durham here at 2:30 on talkSPORT. And of course, we've got EFL action as well. We've got 3 live matches for you over on talkSPORT 2 from the EFL today. 12:30 is Wrexham against West Brom. 3 o'clock, Blackburn take on Birmingham. And then coming up for you tomorrow, Ipswich against Southampton, 12 o'clock here on talkSPORT. Pleased to say that Adrian Clark, our EFL expert, is with us now. Good morning, Clarky.
Good morning, Shebahn. Good morning, Cass.
Are you all right?
Good to have you with us. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Yeah, I'm off to Blackburn a little bit later. And I've never been to Blackburn, never played there, never worked there before. And I had a little tot up on the train yesterday. It's going to be ground number 81. Yeah, I totted up all the grounds I've been to. I've been to 80 of the 92. So I'm getting there. So today we're number 81. So yeah, I'm excited.
When you said tot up, I thought you meant you got in a fight.
Oh, did you? I've never heard that.
I don't think
if I tot up yesterday, maybe not.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Of course you are, Ed. Of course you are. Shall we start with Wrexham against West Brom? Good one in store today.
Yeah, that's the early kickoff, isn't it, on talkSPORT 2? It's been an exciting start to the season for Wrexham. Obviously, they were leading at Southampton last weekend. There's a bit of late heartbreak with 2 late goals that cost them defeat. And then in midweek, they beat Hull City on a shootout, but the game finished 3-3. So they've been involved in some humdingers already. Signed Nathan Broadhead from Ipswich for several million. And they won't say how much. But each signing they make, Wrexham, it's kind of getting bigger and bigger. They're really going for some top players. Obviously, Connor Cody came in, Kiefer Moore. Now Nathan Broadhead. You do sense they're not there just to make up the numbers this year, Rex. I don't think they'll go up, but they're getting a squad that's capable, certainly, of challenging.
Aid, a tough week, for Middlesbrough, Ipswich in the Carabao Cup, both getting knocked out. You've had Sheffield United also getting knocked out and losing their opening game like they did. It feels like some of the teams are going to be up at the top end of favourites to getting promoted from the Championship. Have all had a pretty. There's a few of them that have had a real sticky start.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, how seriously they take it in the Cup, I don't know. Like Sheffield United didn't put out anywhere near their A team against Birmingham midweek. I mean, they got battered. I know it was only 2-1.
I mean, the shots on target. I mean, it was ridiculous, wasn't it?
They had one touch inside Birmingham's box, and I think Birmingham had 43. It was complete one-way traffic. So, Ruben Sellers, what it shows you is Sheffield United haven't got much depth this year. They go to Swansea today. Swansea were involved in the season's most boring game last weekend, Middlesbrough, where there was basically no shots. Middlesbrough got battered in midweek, but won that game against Swansea. But they lost at home, Middlesbrough, to Doncaster beat them 4-0. So that, even though, again, it's the League Cup game, it puts Rob Edwards under a bit of pressure ahead of today's game. And they're coming to your neck of the woods today, Cass. They're down at Millwall Borough. And that is not going to be an easy game for any team this season. Millwall beat Norwich on the opening day. And I do think Alex Neil's got a squad there that could challenge for the playoffs for sure.
And the game you're at, of course, as you mentioned, Blackburn against Birmingham, live on talkSPORT 2, 3 o'clock. How do you see this one going, Adrian?
Yeah, well, Birmingham have got to be favourites, haven't they? Even though they're the promoted side. Rovers only just missed out on the playoffs by a couple of points, but they haven't really got much of a budget to spend. Valerian, Ismail, there's not great vibes at Ewood Park at the moment. They've had a difficult start to the season, lost their first 2, well, one in the league, one in the cup. Birmingham are taking 7,000 fans today.
Wow.
To Ewood Park, which is mighty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the Championship. So, yeah, look, I think Birmingham City have got a great chance of playoffs. They are probably even thinking we could get top 2 here. That's how ambitious
Stanfield
they are.
up front, he's a very much, he reminds me of, Jamie Vardy type, where wiry, quick, gets chances, and his numbers are good.
Yeah, I've used that comparison in my commentaries before, Cass. He does. He is that wiry centre forward. He's not quite as quick as Vardy, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
And there's a lovely partnership developing between Stansfield and Kyogo Furuhashi, who the former Celtic player. I know. So those two.
He can handle himself physically, can't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, they're both good players. They both scored in midweek.
Yeah.
Stansford's on 2, Furuhashi's on 1. So, yeah, they'll take some stopping today, I think.
Lovely stuff. Adrian Clark, our EFL expert, thank you very much. You can keep across the Championship today over on talkSPORT 2. Coming up for you next, we'll look ahead to Spurs' game with Burnley. We'll get some more predictions from the season ahead. We're going to hear from you as well. 03717223344. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT with NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day. You can find out more at nordvpn.com/talksport.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Good morning, welcome along to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. Top of the morning to you if you're out on the road and you're heading to a game today. Some people putting in the miles today, Cass.
Oh, always. We get the Olympics in distance. That's what we do, yeah. We do. We get the Olympics.
We need a league table of those doing the best journeys today. Yeah. Fair play at the Chesterfield lot as well. The Bristol City Rovers fans going up to Chesterfield today. There's so many of you out on the road already. Go safely today. Coming up for you on Weekend Breakfast, the Premier League is up and running, baby. We're going to look back on Liverpool's late win against Bournemouth.
Salah will get to it in front of Hill. Left edge of the area. Salah trying to seal it here. Right foot shot. You bet he sealed it. Mo Salah does what he does best.
He does indeed. We'll discuss that game as the champions start the defence of their title with a victory. Eventually, we'll have a full preview of the weekend's Premier League action as the rest of the league gets underway this weekend.
3-2 to Liverpool on talkSPORT. The Premier League is back in session, and what a way to kick off the new campaign.
12:30 today here on talkSPORT. Aston Villa take on Newcastle. You can hear it here with us. And could it be a big year for Thomas Frank's Spurs? We'll discuss their chances of a successful season as well.
I see us wanting and certainly striving to be back in a European position come the end of next season.
So Clive Allen is feeling positive. Are you? We'll see what former Spurs boss Harry Redknapp thinks later on this hour as well. Plus, we want to hear from you, our lovely listeners. 03717 22 3344. You can text us 81089. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Watching the game last night, it was absolutely brilliant to have the Premier League back. I don't even think we've touched on Ekitike yet.
No, we haven't. I mean,
Yes, he's lively. Ooh.
Yeah, I think he's pleasantly surprised how quickly he's done what Pedro did at Chelsea, where he literally hit the ground running as soon as he walked through the door, played in the World Cup final, and played incredibly well for Chelsea in that particular game. Ekitike's done the same thing. He's come through the door and he's hit the ground. Look, as goalkeepers, you need to make saves. Because when you sign a goalkeeper, the first thing you want to make some few big saves to get clean sheets. Strikers, it's all about goals. Yeah. So as soon as you hit the ground running and get a goal as quick as you can, straight away you got the fans. Look, Ekitike, you can tell that he's going to be a real handful all season. And look, Liverpool got him through the door first, so that showed the importance of actually doing that deal for the club.
He's a big guy.
I know
what a basic thing.
He's wiry, but he's quick, and he's got that ability to just turn and immediately look dangerous. As soon as he gets in a position of danger, I thought the goalkeeper was a little bit at fault, if I'm honest, with his goal last night. I thought, it's one of them. He's just give him the eyes and wrong-footed the keeper. But I thought the goalkeeper made it a little bit too easy for him.
Right.
Beaten. But again, no problems for him because he started really well.
And like you say, he started well. He's done his job, as a striker to arrive at Liverpool. I mean, you go back to the Community Shield as well. He scored, on his debut in a Liverpool shirt. He's got the fans excited. But then again, we saw the same from Darwin Núñez. When he arrived at Liverpool, he scored.
I think he's got way more technical ability than Darwin. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Shebahn, you look at them as two players, and immediately he's had a couple of one-on-ones, or he's gotten in positions. He slotted it in the corner in the Charity Shield, didn't he? It was a great finish. Now, Núñez had his periods where he could do that, but I think what you're seeing is a much more clinical version of what a striker should be if you're playing for a club like Liverpool. You have to be clinical. And he's got that quite clean in his game. Well, I never was convinced that Darwin Núñez did.
Right, okay.
It's different.
Very, very, very different, of course, as well. But fair play to him. He looked so good last night. Okay, your prediction then to the top 5 finishing the Premier League then this season. You said your top 3 in contention were Liverpool,
Arsenal and Chelsea. I think that for definitely the top 3. I think Arsenal are the most scary rival to Liverpool because I think they've got 2 players in every position, which enables them to have a real fight. It's the first season. Look, they've got a new sporting director that's helped got everything that was necessary for Arteta to have a team that not only challenged but will be challenging all the year. They're great at set pieces. I think the loss of Gabriel's an issue for them. Hopefully for them, he'll be back soon. But they've got 2 players in every position. I think Liverpool are a little bit too open. And I said it in midweek before this game. And last night was clear evidence that Liverpool are going to get loads of goals. They're going to be incredible to watch. But boy, they're going to pay a price defensively if they're exposed like they were again last night and towards the end of last season. Yeah. So Liverpool have to be better there if they're really going to, get back-to-back titles.
Absolutely. Start off with a win against Bournemouth. 4-2 Liverpool win last night. Attention, let's just focus on tomorrow then on Arsenal, on the subject of the Gunners, looking to go and win it this season. They're away to Old Trafford to take on Manchester United in their first game of the season. Now, earlier on this week, keen to get your thoughts on this. We heard from legendary captain of Arsenal, Tony Adams. He advised Mikel Arteta to take the captaincy off Martin Odegaard and give it to Declan Rice if the club are going to go to the next level. Speaking on talkSPORT Breakfast, Villa legend Gabby Agbonlahor agreed with Tony Adams.
Amen is what I say. Because last season Odegaard was not at the levels. This season I see Wanyeri taking Odegaard's place.
That's a big shout.
I really do.
What, in the starting 11?
I really do, yeah. I feel like you've seen more and more last season Odegaard getting taken off when Arsenal needed a goal. And I agree. Declan Rice will play every game. He's got the captain material. He will drive that team. And then maybe that takes a bit of pressure off Odegaard and makes him get back to the form that he had a couple of seasons ago. But, yeah, I feel Tony Adams, if anyone knows who should be captain. And I think Mikel Arteta probably agrees with him deep down.
Well, I thought Gabby was miles off it saying that yesterday, and I felt, who am I to question the great Tony Adams? Mikel Arteta did his press conference yesterday and said that he had the players vote, and it was by a country mile, Martin Odegaard for the captain. Yeah. What did you think of Adams making those comments? Just as
I immediately thought, I can't imagine anybody saying at Arsenal, Tony, I don't think you should be the manager, the captain anymore. Because you try taking the captaincy off Tony Adams. He was a great captain, but I don't agree. I think Odegaard is an amazing player that leads by example. I thought he had a number of issues injury-wise last season, but I don't see that as the reason what stopped Arsenal winning the title, as whether he's the captain or not. I think he can lead, and I think he will do this season. I think you'll see Martin Odegaard back to his very best. And I just think within the camp, you know who the captain should be. And if the players, as Arteta said, has voted, and he was clearly the captain for the season, then there's no debate. There's not even a thinking, well, maybe I'll give it to someone else. You're going with the guy that you believe, from the players to the coach, and the coaching staff would all be involved. And quite clearly, Odegaard is their number one choice.
Here's Mikel Arteta, the Arsenal manager, going back at Tony Adams' comments yesterday.
Well, my opinion is clear, and it's not just my opinion, it's all the staff and especially the players. I asked them to vote the captain, and I got the results yesterday, and by a mile, but a big, 100 miles, everybody choosing the same person, which is Martin Odegaard, which is the most clear sign that you can have is how they feel about who has to be their captains to defend, improve, and win the matches that we want to win. So I think there's no question about that.
So Odegaard remains Arsenal captain. Do you think the manager should give the captaincy, or it should be a vote?
Well, I think there's a lot of, there's a lot of decision making that goes on, but the manager wants to know what the players feel, who they think their best leader is, and you give us what you think. And if we agree with what you think, unless you're absolutely convinced that this decision needs to be made, I'm going to change the captain. But that's a big call to a very good player, and a very influential player. You don't need to make that. That is not the reason why Arsenal have not been champions.
Completely agree. When it was Harry Maguire's situation at Manchester United, it's a very, very different.
He was he was a United fan.
Yeah, I mean, under extreme pressure, the club was struggling. The club was going backwards. Now, that was not a direct reflection at all of Harry Maguire. And my God, that guy's got resilience. But Odegaard isn't the reason that Arsenal aren't falling short of winning the league. With Odegaard as captain, Arsenal have progressed season on season.
Yeah.
So
totally
I think
agree.
to take that away from Odegaard and give it to Rice would probably put a cat amongst the pigeons in a dressing room, which clearly seems harmonious.
I'll tell you what I would like would have been great if, because I'm pretty sure he probably would have. Declan Rice would have probably have voted for him.
I bet you're right.
I'm convinced I'm right.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that Declan Rice has probably gone Martin Odegaard. Because he doesn't want the captaincy. I'm sure it will come to him one day, but I'm pretty sure that he'd have gone, he needs to be our captain.
I agree. I completely agree with you. You can let us know your thoughts on this morning. Should it be the manager's decision? Should it be a team vote? 81089, Odegaard will remain captain. And by the way, just final say on Odegaard, I was at a party once and he was there. And Cass, he was, what a man. He shook everybody's hand. The eye contact made everybody feel a certain way. Just came across like an absolute legend. He came across like a really good person on the pitch and off the pitch. He seems like a good man.
I think he's going to have a big season for Arsenal.
Fingers crossed
really
he does. Coming up for you next, we'll look ahead to the big stories in the back pages of today's papers, and we'll hear from you about the journeys you're making this morning, heading to matches up and down the country and all over the gaff. You're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT with NordVPN. Cyber security built for every day. You can find out more at nordvpn.com/talksport.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans. It's done by the fans.
Yes! Oh! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences. That.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
Good morning, how are you? You're listening to Game Day Breakfast live for you here on talkSPORT. We're on YouTube, we're on your smart TV as well. Tony Cascarino looking like a 10 out of 10, people.
10 out of 10. I haven't been a 10 out of 10, well, since I was 10.
It's Shebahn Aherne. And the man who's you.
It ain't fun getting older.
I know.
It's not fun getting
sucks. Does it absolutely sucks. Especially these HD cameras.
Yeah.
You see through us.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh.
I always use that line. You know when people say, like, getting older, and I say, well, I've never met anyone getting younger, so we've got to live with it.
We do. We have to crack on. The NFL returns to Wembley in October, by the way. I'm now obsessed with the NFL because of the quarterback. It's just that simple for me. I absolutely love it. Los Angeles Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and our competition is to get you to win VIP tickets to that game. By the way, just saw a great thing on TikTok. Apparently, it's rumoured that Taylor Swift is going to be doing the Super Bowl halftime show.
Right.
It's just
so, hasn't she
get me
done that
there
before?
I don't think she has done Super Bowl halftime show.
So many of them that have done it now, isn't
But
it?
she's with Travis Kelce from the Chiefs.
Right,
You know
okay.
this,
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
And then apparently our new album's hinting towards like Super Bowl type
Right,
things.
okay.
And obviously I'm all about the hints and TikTok, so this is where I'm jumping to conclusions. Like I say, we want to give you the chance to win tickets to Los Angeles Rams against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Wembley. We've got the chance to win 6 seats in a private box, full hospitality, looked after, and £5,000 spending money. So here's how you can enter: 18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash, CASH, to 83338, and then you're in the draw. Texts are £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission. You can enter by free if you fancy this. Call the number 0330 880 338. I'll give you that again: 0330 880 338. All entries must be received by the 25th of August at 11 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations, and full terms and conditions are at talksport.com. Good luck. So looking at today's Saturday morning papers for you, a lot of it, of course, focused on Liverpool. Do you know what I have to say? I loved Chiesa seeing Euro 2020.
Yeah. Oh,
he was magic, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then he comes to Liverpool last season. He's quiet. He's not had a season. He's not had a lot of opportunity. He comes on and he gets it 3-2 last night to Liverpool. Eventually, they go on to win the game 4-2 against Bournemouth. Super sub saves the slot. Is back page of the Daily Mail. Back page of the Sun. They're going for you, Jota. Perfect tribute as Reds snatch a win. And then looking at the Guardian this morning, they're focusing on the Women's Rugby World Cup. Starts very, very soon here, of course, on our doorstep. And also Yuri Tielemans, there's a section in him as well in the Guardian. At Villa, we want to do even better.
Yes. I've picked out something from the Times with Paul Joyce, who is Mr. Liverpool for the Times. Everything that goes on in Liverpool, he sorts it all out. You know, I mean, I've gone up a few times, and Paul's brilliant. The information he gets, and it's all about. He's done a column, and he's talking about Giovanni Liani's arrival at Liverpool, the 18-year-old that they spent 26 million on. And look, everyone is chasing the very best young players in Europe, and Paul alludes to it that he was a standout feature. By the way, Newcastle had inquired about him from Parma to take him. And, they're the foe of Liverpool at the moment, aren't they? Looking at Liverpool and what all they've done with Isaac and you look at it and you think, Newcastle have lost out again because Liani was meant to a potential buy for Newcastle. And the reason why this has happened is quite clear from what Paul is saying, that his potential, but they're also looking for the here and now. And in 2 years' time, Van Dijk's contract is up at 36. And they see him as an 18-year-old that can progress really quickly. Now, he played a number of games for Parma last year.
Yep.
Inter Milan were wanting him. So these prized talents that are around in Europe, so much work is going into them, enticing them to come to your football club. And quite clearly, he's viewed as, for today and further down the line, they've let Kwanzaa go, with a buyback clause, but they've let Kwanzaa leave, to go and play his football elsewhere. And I think Nat Phillips as well, with less, another centre-half that's gone. So they look at him and he's going to get games for Liverpool.
Yeah.
And especially with the amount of issues Liverpool so far had from the Charity Shield to the first game of the season at the centre-half position, he might play sooner rather than later.
I'm curious about the human element of this then, Cass. 18 years old, arriving at the champions, with a fan base like Liverpool, to try and retain the title again. I mean, and you're expecting him to play. I mean, what does this young 18-year-old be preparing with?
Well, there's a few things in here,
yeah.
Shebahn, because there's a lot of rumours in Italy that he should be in the national team already as an 18-year-old, because the World Cup's next year. They see him as the potential starter or a player that should certainly be in the squad. And look, Mark Gay's been also rumoured to be interested by Liverpool, interested in him. But Liverpool sort of gone a little bit quieter on that front, as in they might do the deal, but they look at, well, why would we pay 35, 40 million pound now when we've got a young lad come in? We could give him game time. He'll certainly play in Carabao Cup games or, maybe FA Cup ties, and could be thrown in the deep end, come off the bench. He could really go quickly from being an 18-year-old today and in a year's time playing in the World Cup for Italy in America. And so that's how quick things can change. So there's a lot of onus on him about his potential.
Very exciting for Liverpool. I think the business they've done this season has been magic. And then you look at the likes of the Alexander Isak saga, it doesn't look like the longer it's going on, it's going to happen, because when you look at Ekitike last night, I don't think they're thinking of Alexander Isak.
So, okay, if they lose Ekitike, you could probably go. Again, he's a very young man.
Yeah.
So relying on him the whole of the season, plus Champions League, don't think Liverpool want to do that. If they can do the exact deal and it works for Newcastle and Liverpool, they will. But it means incredible competition for places. But it's a really interesting piece about the way that Liverpool have looked at the centre-half position, and Konate has not agreed a new contract yet. They're still in negotiations. So there's a lot of issues around the centre-half position. But this young lad has got a hell of a future, 6'5" at 18. And he's played a number of games in Serie A already.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it. Indeed, Paul Joyce writing in the Times today. You can let us know your thoughts on that this morning. If you could sign one player between now and the transfer window closing, Liverpool fans, who would it be? Alexander Isak or Mark Guéhi? That's a good question. 81089. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT with NordVPN. Get your talkSPORT exclusive offer today with 72% off a 2-year plan and an extra 4 months free. Terms and condition, as always, apply. And you can find out more at nordvpn.com/talkSPORT. Good morning, welcome along to Saturday. It's Game Day Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino is in the house. We've got a big fight for you tonight here on talkSPORT. Atoma versus Dillian White out in Saudi Arabia. We have it live as well.
Yep.
Can't wait for this. This Atoma is an absolute super freak.
Yeah, I know. There's and he's obviously being really, really young. I mean, I think it's a real hard one for Dillian White. I don't see it lasting long.
So, a lot of pressure, isn't there?
Yeah.
A lot of pressure. We'll be building up to the fight a little bit later on. It's live for you here on talkSPORT tonight. And everybody's favourites, late night favourites, Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara are back together on the Sports Bar after a lovely summer break. They shared their predictions for the Premier League season with us. Here you go.
Why Shebahn and Cass, Jamie Aherne, Jason Cundy here. Cundy, how are you?
I'm all good, bud. Let's get on with this.
Let's get cracking. Got any rogue shouts for us? Who's going to win the title?
I don't want to
say Chelsea.
I don't want to say this, mate. I really don't want to say this, right? I've got Arsenal down there. Jay, I hate myself for saying it, mate. I've got a horrible feeling. Maybe I do it just to jinx it. Maybe that's what I've done. I done it last year.
Yeah.
I jinx it. So can I jinx it?
You can jinx it.
Arsenal going to win the title, mate. There you go.
All right.
Second, Liverpool. Third,
Didn't ask you that.
Chelsea.
Didn't ask you.
City. Fourth. You want the rogue shout?
Hold on. You think Chelsea are going to finish above Manchester City?
They will, mate. Yeah, I do.
What planet are you living on?
I do,
You're right.
mate. I do. Yeah.
I know it's been a long week.
Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. Do you want my rogue shout? Spurs to get relegated. How amazing would that be? Europa League champions in the
Never take anything seriously, this guy. Sorry, Shebahn. Sorry, Cass.
Spurs get relegated. Go on, Thomas Frankenstein.
My rogue shout is Amorim to get sacked first in the Premier League and then Graham Potter.
Who's winning the title?
I'm going to say Liverpool.
Second?
Manchester City.
Third?
Arsenal.
Fourth? Say it.
Spurs.
Oh, the two of the saltiest men.
Do you know what the funniest thing is? Jason has tipped Spurs to go down and he played for them. And there's no loyalty at all. He's Chelsea through and through, and he's like, I find that so funny for Jay.
Sports Bar was back together after the Super Cup final. The two of them are back, and it was just gold, honestly, for Spurs to lose in a fashion.
Thomas Frankenstein,
that did make me laugh. Okay, Spurs take on Burnley today with a new man in the dugout. A game I know you're heading to a little bit later on.
I'm going to Spurs, today.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
After a contrasting season which saw them win the Europa League but also finish 17th in the Premier League, the club decided to part company with the legend Ange Postecoglou and replace him with Brentford boss Thomas Frank on Wednesday night. As we said, Frank's Spurs ended up losing the Super Cup against PSG on penalties despite being 2-0 up heading into the last 5 minutes of the game, getting his reign off to a frustrating start. Spurs boss, but with rumours that the transfer business might not yet be done, and with Champions League campaign to look forward to, what does this season look like for Spurs? Well, on White and Jordan, former Palace owner Simon Jordan had this to say about their hopes.
I don't think they're going to win the Champions League. I think they're going to find difficulty winning the Premier League, but there's no reason why they're not going to win FA Cups and League Cups. We've just seen Crystal Palace win one.
Yeah.
You know, we see other teams winning the League Cup. Now, of course, Daniel, without any reason for apologising, will set his stall out for wanting to be inside the top four, because that has economic benefits. That makes it a participation club to some extent, a highly functioning participation club, but a participation club all the same, which means that to get into the top four of the Premier League, they need to be focused on that. But it doesn't mean that you should then not be able to win FA Cups and League Cups. And you know that that argument is never going to be enough. Levy's die is cast with certain sections of the Tottenham fan base, because if they go and win League Cups and FA Cups, it'll be considered by that fan base as not particularly relevant, because they should be winning Premier Leagues.
Simon Jordan there, speaking on White and Jordan. Through the week, don't forget the guys are back together on Monday morning here on talkSPORT. We can speak to a man now who knows exactly what it's like to manage the club. Harry Redknapp, the legend himself, is with us now this morning. Good morning, Harry. How are you?
Harry.
Good morning, Tony. Good morning.
I was laughing there earlier, Harry, when obviously Jason Cundy, who he played for, you know, it's just saying he'll think they'll go down. I mean, that is Chelsea through and through, isn't it?
I'll be honest, I think Tottenham this year could finish in the top six.
I do. I
think they could be, you know, I don't see them finishing in the four, but I certainly think they could finish in the top six. You look at that squad and the talk of, you know, at the moment of one or two more signings coming in that look there would be incredible signings. I think the boy Eze at Palace, it'd be sad for Palace, obviously, their fans, if he leaves, but it looks like there's every chance. Talk about Arsenal now, Tottenham look like they could be in for him. It'd be an amazing signing for them. So I think Tottenham's squad looks very, very strong, and I think I can see them in the top 6 this year.
Harry, you were always renowned of getting more out of players, which is a real thing, overachieving, getting the very best out of your squad you've got. And I look at Thomas Frank and I think that's what he's done as a manager. And that for me, I think will make a big impact on Spurs this season.
Yeah, I mean, he did a fantastic job at Brentford, didn't he? So, I like him. I mean, I don't know him, but he comes over great. And as I say, they've certainly got a good squad. You look the other night, they got kids on, the 2 kids. The lad Gray, for me, was probably their best player last year. Played every position, centre-half, right-back, midfield. He was on the bench the other night against PSG. He's a player. The other young lad as well who came on... what's it? I'm sorry, I haven't forgot his name, but I can't pronounce his name.
Is
he?
Was it
Matthias Tell or Bergvall?
Bergvall, sorry. Yes. Sorry. I mean, again, he had a great season last year. So they're 2 kids as well that are going to be pushing for places. The whole squad looks very, very strong. They're strong at the back now. They're adding every position, and I think I can see them being top 6 this year for sure.
Interesting. I mean, what did you think of the way that Spurs played against PSG in the Super Cup? Do you want to see that more pragmatic approach in the Premier League? It's a very different take to the way it was under Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they'll play this year, Shebahn. I think they'll be more solid, and you have to be. You can't just be gung-ho and gung. It's you've got to make sure you've got a balance to your team, and I think they'll be more solid, and it won't be a case of we score more goals than them. It'll be they may win some games 1-0, but they're going to be more difficult to beat. The other night, for sort of 85 minutes, they were excellent against PSG. They set their stall out. Tactically, they had everything right. Just got done with them two late goals in sort of injury time, but. It was a really encouraging performance, and as I say, they look okay to me this year.
Yeah, the 2 fullbacks are primed to be pushed on, and you can play a 3, Harry, can't you? Porro and Spence, you know that you can let them go, and they're both dangerous, both quick, technically good. So there's
They've got 3 very strong central defenders there now as well. You say he's set up to play 3 at the back if he wants to.
Yeah.
Do you think Spurs can win another trophy this year, Harry?
Yeah, I mean, the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup is certainly would be within their grasp this year. If they can have a real challenge for that. Obviously, they've got Champions League football, which is going to be fantastic for them. It's an exciting season to look forward to this year for Tottenham. But I still, I know I listened just now, to the lads, to Jason and. Jamie's I think they're obviously not going to be far away. I do think that Liverpool, Arsenal, and I can see Chelsea maybe finishing 3rd, Man City. They're the 4 teams that I think will obviously battle out the Premier League title this year. I do think Arsenal will be very close again. I've got to be honest. I'm with Liverpool, but I think that Arsenal will push them all the way again.
Yeah, I mean, last night, Harry, was extraordinary. Watch it, because I said to Shebahn very early in the show, we had Klopp's heavy metal football, and then we had a more pragmatic slot. And last night felt like it's gone way beyond even Klopp's heavy metal football last night, watching them play.
Yeah, they certainly went for, but Bournemouth played their part in the game, Tony. When you look at them, they've lost 3 of the back 4. All had massive moves. One's gone to Real Madrid, the left back went to Liverpool, and the other centre half's gone to PSG. They also lost their goalkeeper from last season, and I think to turn in a performance like that last night, they were obviously, up to 90 minutes, it looked like they got back in the game, going to get a point. So it was a good performance from Bournemouth as well. But Liverpool, I know Jamie Carragher was on after the game saying they're too open, they can't play like that, they won't win the title this year. He may well be right. They certainly need to find that balance, you know, of when they go forward, make sure they're not too open to the counter-attack. But you look at their squad now, and and especially if Isak comes as well. I mean, they've got a fantastic group of players here.
I just want to ask you one thing, Harry, because you know at football clubs sometimes as a manager you'll turn around and say, well, I'll let him go, I might let that one go, but this one's not going. And Semenya feels like that to me, where they've gone Bournemouth. Well, prepared to let other people go, and I'm sure there's been a massive interest in him, but they've decided that, they've so far kept him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he signed a new contract. He is a real talent, Tone. I go to the most of the home games at Bournemouth, and I've not. On his day, he can just. He's unplayable. He really is. His ability to run with the ball, his skill. He's powerful. He's good in the air. He can score a goal from wide position. He's got the lot. He could play through the middle as well as playing wide. He is a real talent, and he showed that last night again. So, you know, hopefully they can hang on. I know he signed a new contract, but you never know, do you? I'm sure there'd be lots of clubs looking at that last night. You know, top 4 or 5 clubs. My God, he could make a difference to us if we could get him. But hopefully he's going to start Bournemouth this year.
Absolutely. And just finally, before we let you go, Harry, who's your favourite for the Premier League and your favourite for the Champions League?
Well, my favourites, I mean, I just favour Liverpool again, but I do think Arsenal will push them very, very close, you know. Champions League this year, I don't know, could Liverpool again, they could possibly go on and win Champions League this year. But I think Real Madrid will be strong this year. They've made, they look like they've made 1 or 2 signings. They could be bang there. I don't know, PSG, obviously, they're dangerous, but yeah, maybe somebody else this year. I'd like to certainly like to see an English team win it this year. It'd be great.
It's a really weird competition, Harry, because you can have teams like PSG did last year that before Christmas looked like no chance of winning the Champions League. In the second half of the season, look, Real Madrid did this numerous times. Look, absolutely guaranteed by the time it got to February and March.
Yeah, they played some football late on, Tony, didn't they, last year, you know? And they rode their luck. They could have easily gone out at Villa. Liverpool was, they played fantastic at home against Liverpool, went to Anfield and hung on, got away with it a little bit. So, but in the final was incredible, wasn't the performance there that they turned in? So they'll be dangerous again. It looks a great Champions League. It's I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for the new season starting, Championship. I watch every game, Tony. Today, my 12 o'clock, 12:30, I've got Coventry Derby is my first game of the day. Derby Coventry, that'd be a good game.
It don't leave you, Harry, does it? The game.
No, so
it just doesn't.
Wall-to-wall football today. Cup of tea.
How have you stayed married, Harry, for so long?
That's it. I've stayed 56. They said, how'd you stay married 57 years? I said, well, I was sitting here watching the football all day. Sandra sits in there watching Coronation Street, EastEnders, and the rest of them soaps.
Bless her, honestly. How she puts up with it. Harry Redknapp, thank you very much. Have you got any horses on the go today, Harry? You still following your horses?
No, quiet day. I've got a lot of horses. Yeah, I've got horses there. I'm going to have a busy season. The Jukebox Man, my star horse, is back in fully fit with Ben Paulin, so I'm hoping for a big season.
Good.
All roads lead to Cheltenham, hopefully, for us this year again.
Well, enjoy the footy today, Harry Redknapp.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Send our love to Sandra as well. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll continue our build-up to the start of the Prem and discuss another club facing a make-or-break season. West Ham, they head to Premier League newcomers Sunderland today, back in the big time. Will they got off to a winning start? West Ham blogger James Jones is with us next.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans that's done by the fans.
Yes! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences. That.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about Jonathan. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
A very good morning to you. How are you today? You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're live on your talkSPORT app. We're on the YouTube channel. We're on your smart TV as well. It's good to be with you. I'm Shebahn. Alongside me, former 80s and 90s journeyman striker Tony Cascarino is with us as well. Some of you
80s and 90s. You made me really old.
Naughties.
Go 90s. I started my career in the 80s.
Okay, so I'll say 90s in future.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I've hit a nerve there. It's all right. Somebody asked me the other day if I was pregnant. So
no,
you're old and I'm preggers, and I'm not. So you know.
Yeah, I've had. I tell you what, I had one of my most embarrassing is when I had my youngest, and I was in the shop, and the woman serving me said to me, because my little boy was messing around, and she went, "Come on, be good for Granddad." Literally. I went, I miss Dad. He killed me.
Stick with me, I'll sort you out with some Botox.
I don't know that, you know. This is going back a few years as well. Oh.
That's very, very good. Love that. Okay, I'm not the only one being offended for fun then at the minute. Some of your other headlines are waking up to this Saturday. Harry Brook produced a stunning moment of batting genius as Northern Superchargers enjoyed a 36-win run over Birmingham Phoenix in the 100. Victory for the Superchargers saw them move to the top of the table in the 100 on 12 points from 4 games, while Phoenix are bottom of the table with 4 points. In other news, Ronnie O'Sullivan, legend, compiled 247 breaks in a 6-3 victory over Chris Wakelin in the semi-finals of the Saudi Arabia Masters, also becoming the oldest player to make a maximum. Wonder if he's a granddad as well, or being insulted by granddad taunts at any point. And it's been a busy week here at talkSPORT and on talkSPORT.com. Here's talkSPORT's Sean O'Brien with everything you need to know.
Lots happening over on talkSPORT.com, where you can find all the latest Premier League news and transfer updates, including an in-depth look at the Alexander Isak saga and what could happen next. In boxing, you can read everything there is to know about Moses Italma versus Dillian White, including exclusive interviews from both camps and expert predictions from Simon Jordan, Derek Chisora and more. And heading across the pond, find out why Bryson DeChambeau is set to be left behind by Team USA during their preparations for the Ryder Cup, despite him being on the team. There's all of that and more over on talkSPORT.com.
Lovely stuff. Sean O'Brien there. We're building up as well to the Ryder Cup.
Yes.
Next man. Can you go? Have you been? Have you been before?
No, never been to the Ryder Cup. It's an incredible competition.
Oh.
It's just, I mean, Medina was obviously the absolute flagship tournament of them all, you know, of how dramatic that was. And but it'll be good. The Americans really, really, you know, feel like they've had their noses put out of joint too often in the last few decades. They're really up for it.
And the player captaincy thing with Keegan Bradley is very interesting. Because
he's played really well, hasn't he? Himself?
So good. You know, I'm really looking forward to the Ryder Cup. Obviously, we'll have you covered here on talkSPORT in September out in New York. We've got some brilliant fixtures coming up for you today here on talkSPORT, live at 12:30. Aston Villa against Newcastle. Reshman Chowdhury back in the hot seat at Villa Park today. Looking ahead to that game. And then over on talkSPORT 2 at 12:30, Wrexham against West Brom. Adrian Durham here at 2:30, our voice of live football, going around the grounds, all of the goals as they go in. It's like football never went anywhere for a few weeks. Let's discuss West Ham, though. They had a disappointing season last year, finished 16th in the Prem, decided to change their manager mid-season to improve their fortunes. Lopetegui was out, Graham Potter was in, but 2 not much avail. We can hear now from Graham Potter himself, who was asked whether their disappointing end to the season last year was a free hit.
In my experience, there are no free hits in this business. That's for sure. Every game, and rightly so. You're under scrutiny. You're under pressure. You have to be assessed. You have to be judged, and that's absolutely fine. It doesn't really matter to me whether you judge me or not. To be honest, it's about doing the right thing for the club, right thing for the team, working as hard as I can to make the best decisions to keep the football club moving forward. I'm excited about the challenge ahead. I'm excited about the season. Learned a lot since I've been here, and understand the club more, understand how exciting this opportunity is, and then we're just looking forward to the season.
West Ham boss Graham Potter there, travelling to Sunderland today to take on the newcomers to the Prem. Joining us now to look ahead to that one is West Ham podcaster James Jones. Morning, James.
Hi, James.
Morning, both. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. It's a tough one, James, on calling what sort of season West Ham are going to have, because obviously you've lost Kudos, you brought in a new keeper, you've got Kyle Walker-Peters coming as well. You've had the issue with Pekatar that he's now, hopefully overall what's happened to him. Full crew being injured most of last year. There's a whole list of things, and I went to a number of games at London Stadium towards the end of the season, and I've got to say the atmosphere outside the stadium was great. Getting in it and then watching the football, it felt like they got caught up with this, it wasn't entertaining. It didn't feel like a real great vibe at West Ham.
Yeah, I think the last couple of years, particularly since the Conference League win, has been a difficult one. I think that 3-year spell under David Moyes kind of almost set the bar of where West Ham fans wanted to be, and felt like that we should be consistently moving forward. And obviously then it didn't quite pan out that way after the Conference League win, and we've kind of slipped back to type almost, with West Ham kind of being mid-table, sort of battling relegation here and there. Last year was, I just heard Graham Potter there saying there's no free hit. I think from a fan's perspective, it was a little bit free hit for Graham Potter the second half of last season. He did pick up some good results as well. But the atmosphere has been quite subdued for some time. And a lot of that is just, like I said, we feel like we should be in the conversation or there or thereabouts every year after having that success under David Moyes. We really felt like whether David Moyes stayed or whether we goed, we still should be pushing on. That was a real good platform, a solid platform to build, especially with that stadium. We've been promised so much for that move. And we felt like we were finally getting it. So to kind of slip back to type has been quite frustrating from a fan's perspective.
Do you think he's the one, James? Do you think he is the manager to move you forward this season?
I think he was the manager that we should have got instead of Julian Lopetegui last summer. I think, he's like we've already seen with a full pre-season, a full first summer under his belt, that the squad looks a lot tighter. It looks a lot more balanced tactically. And I think he just needed that time with the players to really get his ideas across without having the disruption of a game every 3 or 4 days or every week. I do think whether he's the guy to take us to David Moyes' level success, I think it still remains to be seen. But I think he's the guy this season that can at least steer us away from those worries of being in a relegation battle, definitely.
Yeah, I'd still have my concerns. I mean, I think the one of the massive positives is that you've managed, keep Jarrod Bowen. He wants to obviously stay at West Ham, but he's a real player for the U, makes an ultimate difference, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's the captain. He's the goal scorer. I think he's hit double figures in each of the last 4 or 5 seasons in all competitions. So, everyone knows the importance of Jarrod Bowen to West Ham. I think he's still got 5 years left in his contract, recently signed a 7-year deal. So he is the talisman. He's the guy that we're going to be looking for again this season to score the goals. And like you said, he loves being at West Ham. He wants to stay here for the rest of his career, so he says. So, we're very, very lucky to have Jarrod Bowen.
Yeah, indeed. Have a good game today. James Jones, their podcaster for We Are West Ham. They take on Sunderland today back in the Premier League. 3 o'clock kickoff. Adrian Durham here going around the grounds on Game Day Live 2:30 with all of the goals as they go in. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT with NordVPN. Get your talkSPORT exclusive offer today with 72% off a 2-year plan and an extra 4 months free. Terms and conditions apply. You can find out more at talksport.com.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think. Welcome along to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne with you alongside former Celtic and Marseille striker Tony Cascarino. Celtic 4-1 last night against Falkirk.
Yes, I saw, Shebahn, yeah.
Up.
Is it all over already in Scotland?
Oh, but you said it. You hinted. Yeah.
I think Rangers are coming. I think Rangers have got Hearts and Celtic pretty much at the end of the month.
Yeah, well, I think the first Old Firm is that 7th of September is the one before.
Yeah, there's the first one, yeah.
Looking forward to that. Loads coming up for you on Weekend Breakfast today. We're going to look ahead to today's Premier League action.
What drama from the best league in the world. And already, at the start of the season, we're seeing exactly why.
12:30 here on talkSPORT. Be there or be square. Aston Villa take on Newcastle. We'll also look ahead to a huge fight tonight. Moses Atoma faces Dillian White with our team out in Riyadh.
Really good heavyweight matchup. I mean, you know, a clash of the generations, if you like. People keep talking about Dillian White like he's this pensioner. But this guy, I think, is the real deal. But there's a lot of questions to still answer.
That's Eddie Hearn there. We'll speak to our Spencer Oliver out in Riyadh very, very soon. And, of course, we'll look back on Liverpool's win over Bournemouth to get the season underway last night. You listen to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Cass was, earlier on I was talking about how somebody mistook me for being pregnant last week at dinner, which is fine. I've moved on. I'm over it. And then Cass was saying that somebody once made the mistake of calling him his son's granddad instead of his dad. But we were talking about this in the office in the week. Simeon, who's one of the producers on Breakfast, apparently a bakery opened in London Bridge called the Ginger Pig. And he was to be sent over to collect something. So he went in and he said the lady behind the counter had red hair. And he said to her, "So are you the Ginger Pig?"
Oh dear. I'm not sorry you can say that.
What are you thinking? Like, what?
I don't know. He's obviously made a huge mistake. Yeah.
She spat on his pastry, told him to get out. Are you the Ginger Pig? Shock. He said a shocker. Couldn't get that out of my head this week. By the way, she was not the Ginger Pig, but she was raging. She did have red hair. He won't make that mistake again. By the way, coming up for you today on the talkSPORT network, Aston Villa versus Newcastle's 12:30 over on talkSPORT 2. Download the talkSPORT app and you can swipe across to the Championship action there exclusively on talkSPORT 2's Wrexham against West Brom. And we can look ahead to today's unmissable sporting action with NordVPN.
Breakfast Sports Preview on talkSPORT with NordVPN. Get an exclusive 72% off a 2-year plan with an extra 4 months free. Terms and conditions apply.
Also today, Brighton versus Fulham's 3 o'clock kickoff, Sunderland versus West Ham 3 o'clock, as well as Spurs versus Burnley, and 5:30 this evening. Wolves take on Manchester City in the Premier League. All of the goals as they go in. Updates for you here on talkSPORT 2:30 on Game Day Live with our Adrian Durham, and we can look ahead to talkSPORT's 12:30 kickoff today as the Premier League returns with a real cracker. Villa against Newcastle.
For Aston Villa, who will play Europa League football. And Newcastle United have been beaten on the day. Also ends with a place in the Champions League.
It's important, but I don't want to make it about money. It's about football for me.
Watkins, can he get there? He's round the keeper. Ollie Watkins for Aston Villa.
This season now, he will look at it, a competition that he knows how to win, Jeff, the Europa League.
Villa have owners that want to inject more cash, but they're not allowed to do it.
We are going to try to be alert in case we can join someone.
There's his goal! Alexander Isak!
It's only because of this window that unfortunately has not gone to plan for Newcastle that we are talking about them. They are the story. You've generated the story.
And to tell you the truth, I think Newcastle fans would like him back. And he will be forgiven. Don't get me wrong, he will be.
I'm going to go Newcastle to prove they're not a one-man team, whether Isak is there or not.
Two great sides. Both had a very strong last couple of seasons. Looking ahead to this one for us, we could speak to former Villa keeper Mark Bosnich. Good morning, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Good morning, Cass. Good morning, Shebahn.
Hi, how are you doing? It's good to have you with us today. Looking ahead to this one. I mean, this is a tasty one for a Saturday 12:30, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, very much so. A bit of history between the two sides, obviously, last season, and went down to the wire. And Newcastle pipped Aston Villa for that Champions League place. And both sides have had, you could say, a mixed bag for Aston Villa in pre-season. Newcastle, we know all the headlines have been all the tumultuous events that are going on behind the scenes. In terms of their form, it hasn't been particularly good. But as Cass will tell you, I mean, come the start of the season, when that whistle goes today, the pre-season form pretty much goes out the window. But I'd still be rather sitting right now in Aston Villa's position, even though I'm a little bit biased, than Newcastle's.
Yeah, well, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because Newcastle have literally, as you said, it's all been about transfer activity. Villa have done very little, but one thing they have done, they've really kept most of the squad. Ollie Watkins is still there. I'm looking at, McGinn, rumoured to could have moved on, that he's still at the club and going to be playing today. Tillemans, a big player for Villa. So I sort of feel a little bit more optimistic that although Villa haven't gone and done too much business, they've still got the core of that very good side.
Yeah, very much so, Cass. And continuity is very, very important. I know everybody gets excited every pre-season, especially the fans as well. They want new players in and so forth. But as you well know, the more new players you get, the longer it takes for the team to adjust. And I think we saw glimpses of that. If you want to look at an example with Liverpool, both last week in the Community Shield and even last night, they have to make a few little adjustments. People don't know each other just as well. But unfortunately, with those, for Aston Villa's perspective as well, and we heard McGinn talk about this with those PSR, the profitability and sustainability rules, they've got to be very, very careful as well. They brought in Evan Goussand, who not a lot of people know about, from France, and that was really their major signing. I think that the biggest thing for Aston Villa, in my opinion anyway, in the summer was to keep hold of Emi Martinez, because it looked as though towards the end of last season he was gone.
Yeah. Look, there's both clubs and, just surrounded by transfer. And where do you stand on the Isak one? Because, you've played at big clubs and I've been there when someone's had their head turned and then suddenly it gets a little bit feisty and the club are not agreeing with how the players are acting, and us in the media are all talking about what Isak should do or shouldn't do. But the fact of the matter is he won't be in the starting lineup today.
No, he won't. And as we both know, Cass, look, once a player decides that he wants to leave a club, it's pretty much only a matter of time until he does do that. The way he conducts himself, look, I've been through several experiences with a lot of players, and they vary. And sometimes it can be quite difficult. And also from the club's perspective as too, of how they deal with it. Now, we know in terms of the fact that, and I've got a lot of Saudi Arabian friends, especially over here in Australia, they're not so much worried about the money side of things. They're more worried about doing things in the right way. Mm-hmm. They can afford to basically keep him, you can keep him there for 2 or 3 years if they really want to. We've seen them do that before. So in terms of where I stand, I think it's a very difficult situation for everyone. But I think what they really need to do is sort of not to cut the nose to spite their face. They're looking for a replacement. It's understandable. And they've got every right not to sell him until they find a replacement. But they must know deep down, like I said, that I think it'd be better for everyone concerned that they reach a compromise, whoever it may be, and just to move on. How will it affect the squad? Well, I've had different experiences. Sometimes it can galvanise a squad. Because there'll be a lot of players, as you know, in that dressing room who will be his friend, but they'll be a little bit torn because they obviously won't want it to upset the manager as well. And there'll be others in the squad that will look upon it as, as a sort of a little bit of, you could say, how would you put it in the most diplomatic way? That they sort of think, oh, I wish he would stay with us, but obviously he doesn't want to be here. So, maybe it's better for us. So I've seen it before, galvanise squads, and I've seen them split apart. The proof will be today. We'll truly see today what type of effect, how Newcastle play, because we know, forget the tactical perspective, but from a spirit perspective, Newcastle's spirit is pretty much second to none. We've seen that quite regularly, and they're going to need that today.
Yeah, their midfield is terrific. They've got a great engine room. Mark, I would say, and largely a bit like what you were alluding to there, is that a lot of dressing rooms, the players sort of don't really think too much about if someone comes and goes, because it naturally happens in football so often.
Yeah, it does do. And like I said, we're not inside that dressing room, but what we see is the end result of what's been going on behind closed doors come out on the weekend or during the week, whenever it is. And that will be the true test. Yeah. The proof will be in the eating, and we'll see that. And like I said, there will be some players that are affected, some players that are not. And I think the last thing that Eddie Howe, and he's obviously made that very, very clear in the way that he's put it, you don't want it to become a distraction. Because if it becomes a distraction, just say, for example, Newcastle, they've got a difficult start because they play Liverpool next week as well. If they start having to lose games, people are going to point to that situation. Yeah. But for all concerned, I think it's just better just to sort of to come to some type of arrangement. And also, I'd be still trying through a back channel to say to Alexander, look, listen, if things don't work out, make sure that you keep yourself in good shape, because, although it seems impossible now, you never know. You might have to play for us. And there might be a situation when you come in, if you want to play, and that's as any professional, you want to do the very best you possibly can. So I wouldn't completely discard that right this moment in time, but that's looking, very, very unlikely.
Yeah. Mark Bosnich, Down Under this morning. Thank you very much, former Villa keeper. Looking ahead to Villa against Newcastle live on talkSPORT 12:30 today. Mark, all the best to you. By the way, Newcastle versus Liverpool next Monday for you here on talkSPORT. That should be spicy.
Yeah.
That was our preview of today's unmissable sport in action with NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day. Find out more at nordvpn.com/talksport.
Breakfast sports preview on talkSPORT with NordVPN. Get an exclusive 72% off a 2-year plan with an extra 4 months free. Terms and conditions apply.
My bad. 31st of August.
Right.
Was Rangers Celtic. I think I've said 100 times it's the 6th of September. I don't know why it's in my head.
No, I knew that they were very close because Hearts and Celtic, Hearts have got a decent side this year. And I knew that they had some tough games. I think they go St Mirren, Hearts.
Yeah, I've obviously got that baby
Celtic,
brain cast.
something like that. Yeah, they got them in the next. Look, I said last week the title could be up before September because there's no way that Celtic, if they get a 6, 8, 10-point lead,
Rangers
they're not going to catch them.
Cannot allow it to get to that. We're going to get the latest odds and discuss Liverpool's hopes for the season ahead, and we'll also look ahead to the fight later on for you tonight here on talkSPORT. Moses Atoma taking on Dillian White. Can't wait for that. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT with NordVPN. Get your talkSPORT exclusive offer today with 72% off a 2-year plan and an extra 4 months free. Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at nordvpn.com/talkSPORT.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans. It's done by the fans.
Yes! Oh! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about trophies. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
Morning, how you doing today? You're listening to Game Day Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're live on YouTube. We're live on your smart TV. Shebahn Aherne and former Celtic and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino is here. We've got our tea, we've got our coffee. We're good to go. I asked for a sugar.
Yeah.
I was given one sugar by Tony. And
Not me.
Tony, will I stir it with my finger? My pen?
Tony.
Tony!
Come and give us a
Tony.
spoon or something.
He's looking through the window like, he's a break man, I've got a job to do. Some of the things trending for you this morning. Let's do the viral whistle.
The viral whistle on talkSPORT.
Let's do some of the bits doing the rounds on social media today. Cass, I know you're a big X fan. Not. A viral clip has surfaced showing our very own Alan Pardew, Sam Allardyce and Tony Pulis enjoying a game of ping pong and what looks like a lad's holiday. Have you seen this?
Okay. No, go on.
Yes. Cards. And big Sam Allardyce.
Yeah. That's got to be...
Look like a lovely
Portugal there.
Portugal, wee winter break. Tex Pards, let's find out where he is. And I hope he's back for the final word this Sunday live on talkSPORT. Do you still do lads' holidays? Do you still go on trips with your...
Yeah, golf. More often than not. Golf. I'm pretty sure there'd have been a golf event.
I'm pretty
I think
sure.
the Bobby Robson golf event in Portugal is normally around this sort of time of year.
All right.
If they're still doing it, which I assume they are.
Always watching you, Alan Pardew. We always see you. And before tonight's headline fight of Atoma versus Dillian White, live here on talkSPORT, Gareth A. Davies, our expert himself, cracked a joke with Dillian White and Moses Atoma, though it seemed to fly over one of their heads.
I was literally having a shower this morning. I was literally thinking to myself, yeah.
Did you shower before you fought then, yeah?
Huh?
Never mind. It's an in-joke.
Anyways.
Do you shower in your dressing room? Do you have a shower on the day of a fight or not? Or do you care? Good luck tonight, bud. Moses Atoma there, not getting the joke about do you shower before you fight.
Right over his head.
Yeah, I know, but is that a good question?
Well, I guess there's some sort of hidden joke there amongst fighters that some fighters don't fight before they go in the ring, and like I don't know, you'll BO out your opponent. I don't know. Never mind a KO, it's a BO. I don't know, but apparently Atoma should have known what it's about, but Gareth A. Davies just, I think, made...
Well, he gave him a look to say...
You talking to him?
Yeah, well, what do you mean?
Do you shower at 3:30 a.m. before you leave the house to come in here?
No.
Yeah.
No, I shower the night before.
Yeah, and then you have a little spray, a little shower. Shower in a can.
Oh, I tend to shower the night before, and then because you don't
wake up the whole house.
I was going to say, you're not going to get up.
Do you ever know any footballers who didn't shower after the game?
I know some strange ones. Yeah, we had a guy when I played for Nancy, and we called him Poutoir, which is really translates to skunk. And
nice.
Not very particularly nice. And
poo in the title.
He would never buy shampoo or shower gel. He just use other people's, if that, or just wash himself in water. He just used water and no more.
Apparently that's good for the environment, but he's probably...
Yeah, his name was Paul Fisher.
Paul Fisher. Paul smells a Fisher. Oh, bless Paul. We'll send some shampoo his way.
We nicknamed him Poutoir.
That was the viral whistle here on Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT, and it's time now to the latest odds with Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT, brought to you by Coral, the home of the free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18 plus max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. GambleAware.org.
Simon Clare, good morning. Have you had a shower this morning?
Oh, God, I haven't yet, no. Well, and what a question to ask. God, I feel like I've been jumped on. No, I'm going to have a shower after. I'm going to have a shower after the slot.
Very good to know. So it is
you're just funny enough. We've just reminded you, have we?
Have a shower,
Simon. Listen, I got up, I faced into doing some talkSPORT, did my preparation, got my cup of tea on the go, and then once I finish with you guys, I'm then going to get ready for the day.
Wonderful.
Right. Okay. Well, that day is first of all. Up first is Aston Villa taking on Newcastle. A tricky one to price, Simon.
It is funny. Do you know, I actually have done a bit of preparation rather than doing a shower, and I'll give you a couple of stats here. Aston Villa are unbeaten in 21 games at home, winning their last 8, and they've won 5 of their last 6 games against Newcastle. So they are the favourites at 6-5. 5-2 the draw, 2-1 Newcastle. They've got a few players coming in. Obviously, Isak won't be playing, and they have won their last 3 opening games of the Premier League season themselves. So good game this, and obviously they finished same. They were joint on points last year, but Villa lost out on Champions League on goal difference. So very tight game this, but stats would point to Villa, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty evenly matched in many ways, these two. You know, midfield area, I look at that and I think Newcastle are very, very strong. The loss of Isak, I mean, probably Gordon will go down the middle, because obviously Callum Wilson's gone now. So it's a tricky one to call. I think this is quite a tight one. What about the best of the rest this afternoon?
Listen, Brighton are favourites to play against Fulham, and they've spent a few quid in the transfer window. Fulham haven't. Sunderland, West Ham. Here's a stat for you. You'll be impressed by this one. West Ham have lost more opening Premier League games than any other side in the division's history. So they start badly, is what we're saying. And Sunderland, what a return for them after 8 years. They are second favourites at home. Sunderland 9-4, 2-1 the draw, 5-4. West Ham are the favourites. This, obviously tough for promoted sides, but listen, they've got a huge stadium-like crowd there baying for them. Spurs are 8-15 against Burnley, who are 5-1 away from home. 100 draw. I suppose the Super Cup. Is there any hangover from midweek of those 3? Spurs favourites, Brighton favourites, Sunderland outsiders at home. Do you see them getting something?
Tough one, because they've done so much business. We look at Newcastle finding it very difficult to do some, but their neighbours, Sunderland, have brought in a huge number of players, haven't they? So we're a little bit in the unknown about Sunderland and what they're going to be this season, because they're certainly not the side that got promoted from the Championships. Simon, watching them last year, they've made a huge amount of changes.
Yeah, definitely.
And a quick look at the Championship and also the racing today as well, please, Simon. And then if you can, the boxing, please.
Oh, we whizzed through it, Shebahn. Of course. Well, I mean, listen, Championship. I just love the Championship. We're now involved at Coral with Birmingham City as a betting partner, so it's really sort of focuses the mind. They're away to Blackburn. They're 5-4 favourites there. They were a bit unlucky against Ipswich. Wrexham versus West Brom. I think Adrian Durham's there again. Wrexham so close to an opening day victory. And then Southampton came back last week. Well, they're 7-4. Second favourites to West Brom, who are 6-4, but very tight game there, 2-1 the draw. Derby, Coventry, the 12:30 kickoff. Frank Lampard has got off to a great start. There are favourites there. So, yeah, great Championship action. Tune in to talkSPORT this afternoon. Popstar, the Coral Racing Club horse, runs at Doncaster at 4:15. He's a really nice type. He's a big price, actually, 10-1, only 7 runners, but he ran second last time. I think he'll go well. Crossing fingers there for Alice Haynes, the trainer, and Kieran O'Neill, the jockey, who are Coral ambassadors. And then, tonight, on talkSPORT, Moses Itoma, the 20-year-old, he's 1-9 to beat Dillian White, the veteran. I suppose do you call them veterans at 37 years old?
Well, then what is Usyk at 39 then?
Well, exactly. The only thing about
37 is still relatively young.
It is. I did another little bit of research, actually, courtesy of the Racing Post. Was it Dillian White has only fought twice since 2022. So even though he's got some back form with big fights against the like of Parker and Co. and Chisora, he hasn't got any recent form, and this Moses Itoma looks the real deal. So well worth tuning in. But I think Itoma's red hot fav.
Simon, I can hear your shower water starting now. Thank you so much for being with us today. That was Simon Clare there. And the latest odds with Coral, 18+, be gambleaware.org, and please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT, brought to you by Coral, the home of a free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18+ max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
Former Liverpool striker Neil Mellor with us next on Weekend Breakfast. Good morning, you're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and Republic of Ireland's fourth highest scorer, Tony Cascarino, is here. A little bit of that will get you into a Saturday night. Wasn't it, Cass?
Yeah, it's quite funky.
Right up your street.
Or is it more housey for you?
I'd say this is pretty housey, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty housey. Do you like house?
My house?
I'll take it.
Not really. No, it's not my scene. I feel like I'm in a daze when I'm listening to it.
Oh, yeah.
But you're supposed to feel like that, aren't you?
Yeah, I think, maybe it's a very good point. Building up to game day today here on talkSPORT. Aston Villa take on Newcastle at 12:30 here on talkSPORT. Download the talkSPORT app. You can swipe across to talkSPORT 2. Also at 12:30, Wrexham take on West Brom. Faker others in the hot seat, and she will be there for Blackburn against Birmingham at 3 o'clock. Also on talkSPORT 2 this afternoon. Let's talk about last night, shall we? Liverpool defeated Bournemouth 4-2, and that game was live for you here on talkSPORT.
Ekitike bursting through the middle for Liverpool. He scored on his Premier League debut. TK with his back to goal. Now Gakpo into the penalty area, takes aim. What a finish! Cody Gakpo. Brooks' cross. Semenyo's there, and he's tucked it in through Alisson. And a route back in for Bournemouth. Semenyo goes on with a run. What a goal! It's 2-2. What an extraordinary moment. It's swinging cross. Jones is there, denied. Chiesa! That's the winner. Salah trying to seal it here. Right foot shot. You bet he sealed it. Mo Salah does what he does best. They're going to beat Bournemouth by 4-2.
Great curtain raiser for the Premier League live here on talkSPORT last night. Ends Bournemouth being defeated at 4-2. And what an interesting game it was. Cass, I mean, how did you describe it? Heavy metal football from Liverpool?
Well, I said earlier in the show that watching Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp's was very heavy metal football. Slot made it slightly different, bit more pragmatic. And last night, this was way over what Klopp has ever produced, because Liverpool were attacking from everywhere and did look vulnerable, because literally it was a cavalry charge, one way and then the other way. Yeah. And Liverpool are definitely, for me, going to be top goal scorers in the Premier League. But that's not rocket science. That's just on what they have available up front.
4 different goal scorers for Liverpool last night. In terms of Bournemouth, it was a brace from Antoine Semenyo, and about 20 minutes into the game, there was a pause, and both managers were speaking to the fourth officials, and it was said that Antoine Semenyo had reported racist abuse from a member of the audience there at Anfield last night. We believe that an investigation there is now underway. It was also a very highly emotionally charged night. Of course, lots of tributes to Diogo Jota and his brother, who passed away very, very tragically. And it really had a little bit of everything, that game. It was an excellent start, I think, to the league campaign, but really taken away from today, you're saying you can still really get at Liverpool, you know?
Oh, absolutely. You're going to get chances. I mean, Gravenbeck's going to be huge for Liverpool this year, even more so than last year, because if they're going to ever do Szoboszlai alongside McAllister in midfield, that is not a protection for the lads, especially as the fullbacks, Kirkes and Frimpong will get forward. I just think, wow, there's going to be a lot of defending need to be done then.
Absolutely. And by the way, Semenyo's goals, I mean, outstanding from him as well. I think to have that character, you know, after what he's been subjected to last night, something else, you know, really, really talented player. And we stand with him and what he's been through last night here this morning on talkSPORT. Here to look back on all the action, we can speak to former Red striker Neil Mellor. Good morning, Neil.
Hi,
good
Neil.
Morning. Good morning. What a night that was. Absolutely.
Was you there, Neil? Was you?
I was there. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I was astonished. We all knew, Neil, that Liverpool would be attack-minded. But I'm looking at last year when it was a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit more slower. But last night it just felt, have a bit of this.
Yeah, you know, it's brilliant. I think Liverpool are going to be really exciting to watch this season. I mean, the addition of Florian Wirtz, it could be probably one of the best players in the Premier League this season. To add to Salah, Ekitike settled in very quickly, got himself a couple of goals. The Community Shield, the one last night, I thought he took his goal really well. That was a clinical finish, that. So that was really good to see that he's settling in well. What I would say is, it's game 1 of the season.
Yeah.
So no team is going to have the rhythm. So I've heard a lot of noise about the criticism about Liverpool defensively. Liverpool will get better. Liverpool will improve defensively. There was 4 new players making the first Premier League starts last night for Liverpool. So yeah, Liverpool will certainly improve. But to score 4 goals is not easy. Bournemouth didn't concede 4 in any game last season.
Oh, well.
So there's a reminder, because Bournemouth are a decent Premier League side, and they gave Liverpool a proper game last night.
Yeah, it was what I found really. I mean, I was listening to the boys because I was driving back from an airport, and I was listening to the boys on talkSPORT, and Dean Ashton was talking the game, and it was like so much of refreshing to see the Premier League back, but in the manner that the first game has been played, everyone's going to football today with a bit of a step in their stride, and I felt like the energy that Liverpool produced. But by the way, there's going to be a number of teams that are going to up the energy from what they were last year's season.
Yeah, and I hope teams have a go. I mean, Bournemouth could have come and sat back at Anfield, but they didn't. They had the threat themselves on the counters. I think the fans and the atmosphere helped the game last night. I have to say that. I think it was really emotional at the start of the game. Everybody was aware of the tributes for Jota, which were really beautiful. The family were there. It was clearly difficult for the family, the fans, but also the players, and you could see that in the emotion for Salah at the end of the game. But then the high of the game, I mean, Chiesa. It's probably the most popular song at Anfield. Fans absolutely love singing it. And I'm looking at him sat on the bench and I'm thinking, he's not getting on. And the fans are singing his song because they love it. He comes on, and that was a really nice moment because he's a popular figure, certainly amongst the players and the fans. And that was a good goal because, Cash, you know, as a footballer, if you sat on the bench, you're frustrated, you're disappointed, you're angry. When Liverpool scored the second goal, I don't know if you see it or not, with the camera angle, Gakpo scores. Yeah. Chiesa's on the bench and he's jumping up. He's loving that. So you can see he's involved, wanting the team to do well. And not all subs do that. You're being there yourself. It's disappointing. So he is very much.
You throw your tracksuit on the floor, didn't you? Oh no, I'm not going on there.
But that was great. That was a lovely moment. And obviously, Salah does what Salah does. Scores on the opening day of the season. That was that was a lovely way to finish it off.
Neil, just a quick one. Sorry, Shebahn, just a quick one. Now, of course, it's only the opening game of the season, but we did see in the Community Shield, and we have sort of seen it in pre-season, that the 2 centre-halves are certainly going to get exposed if they haven't got Gravenberch in that position to certainly, because I thought, obviously, Szoboszlai and McAllister, they're not there to protect them.
No, I think obviously you've got 2 new fullbacks, Frimpong, who's very attack-minded, Conor Bradley wasn't fit to start. I think that they will sort of interchange at times this season. I think likewise with the left back position, Kerkez, who has Premier League experience, but is certainly one who likes to bomb forward. And I think at certain games we may see Andy Robertson with that experience just filling in there. So they are sort of understanding and settling into a new team and how they want to defend. But there's no doubt about it. Both games, Community Shield and the one against Bournemouth, Liverpool missed Gravenberch. The legs he has in there, the energy he has in there, the ability to read the game. Because last season, I don't remember Liverpool getting done on the counter too often. And I felt as though Palace had that threat, and Bournemouth as well. So I think Gravenberch coming back in, which he will against Newcastle next Monday, that will certainly help Liverpool look a little bit more solid defensively.
Absolutely. And just to get your thoughts as well on Ekitike, I mean, we've been waxing lyrical about him this morning. I mean, what a player, but the size of him, wiry as well. He was a real handful.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, he was a striker in demand, did very well at Frankfurt last season. And as you know, Cass, as a centre forward, you need to score goals. You want to score goals early on, and he's done that. The Community Shield, really good finish early on. And again at Anfield last night. So he's a proper centre forward. He'll come short. He'll run in behind. He'll put himself about. He'll work his socks off. But the biggest thing I've noticed, when the chances come along, he looks like he'll take more than he'll miss chances, of course he will, but he looks like he's got that clinical edge about him as a centre forward. So, great addition. Liverpool are still short in attack, we have to say that, because lost Núñez, lost Diaz, and tragically lost Jota, so 3 out of the attack from last season. Brought Ekitike in, obviously emergence of Rio Engamoa, who may feature at certain times this season, but and obviously Chiesa involved in that as well. So I think Liverpool may still add another attacking player because it's a long season, but great to watch. It was great to watch. It really was.
Neil, just a brief one because we're running out of time. Gakpo, to me, is one of the most improved players I've seen over the last sort of 18 months, 2 years. I think he's come on leaps and bounds.
Well, when he first arrived, it was difficult because he was playing as an 8, as a 10, as a 9, and out wide. So he was sort of in all kinds of different positions. And Liverpool weren't playing well at that time. We had a few injuries. I think he was certainly competing with Diaz for a while, and it showed how well he did last season because Diaz went as a striker. Because the manager wanted to get Gakpo in. He's now got a role in the team. He's out on that left-hand side. You can see the confidence. He's got end product, Gakpo. Say what you want about him. He'll work his socks off, but he'll create goals. He'll score goals. So, yeah. And I just wonder, obviously, Ekitike can play out left. Engamo as a young player coming through. Now Diaz has gone, whether that sort of will just unleash Gakpo a little bit more. This is me. This is me out on that left-hand side. Loved his goal. And yeah, I think he'll have a good season, Gakpo.
Loving your energy this morning, Neil. You can
top of the league. See you later.
All the best to you, former Liverpool striker Neil Mailer with us on Weekend Breakfast this morning. Here on talkSPORT with NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day. Find out more at nordvpn.com/talkSPORT with build up to fight night next.
This is the talkSPORT Goal Show. It's the show for the fans. It's done by the fans.
Yes! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is an unlocker of defences.
If you've got a problem or something to say,
You don't have the right to say anything about something. I do.
This nonsense kills the game.
Good morning. How are you today? You're listening to Game Day Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Oh, it's good to have the football back. If you're out on the road and you're heading to your game today, enjoy. Go safely at Shebahn Aherne, alongside former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. By the way, in the break there, Cass was just looking at the golf courses on Sky at the minute, the BMW Championship. Yeah. I love looking at golf courses.
Oh, no, they're so beautiful. And I know, look, it's the BMW Championship.
Bob McIntyre up there, by the way. Go on, Bob.
Yeah, he's flying. Yeah, he's doing all right. He's leading the top of the leaderboard.
By the way,
golf courses are so manicured and pristine. You know, just looked after. I really love looking at the design of golf courses.
You sound like my husband. Seriously.
Right,
just talk to me about golf
might sound like I'm boring.
Sometimes I'll find him watching YouTube videos of his favourite golf courses. Sadly,
well, you're spoiled in Scotland, aren't you?
We are indeed.
I mean, in Ireland it's incredible, but Scotland has amazing golf courses.
I agree. By the way, on the subject of golf, Bryson DeChambeau has been left out of the USA team going to the Ryder Cup, which tees off on the 26th of September, due to his ties to Live Golf. Oh, I like Bryson. Do you watch his YouTube channel?
No. He's quite decent. It's quite a divide, isn't there, of opinion on Bryson.
So cool. He's a nice guy.
I know, but within the game, there's some people who just don't take to him at all.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka, for example.
Rory.
Yeah, Rory, not fun.
No.
Okay. And continuing the theme of Premier League predictions today, we asked talkSPORT's Jim White for his thoughts on the new season.
Hi, Shebahn. Hi, Tony. This is Jim White, and these are my predictions for this new Premier League season. So who will win the title? I say Liverpool. Liverpool retain their title under Arne Slot, either with or without Alexander Isak in their ranks. Something left field, I would look to Brighton. I have a few friends and a few chums down at Brighton. I like the club, I like Paul Barber, I like Tony Bloom, and Fabian Hürzeler is going to have a great season. And Brighton to be top 6 also this season, and this is a bit of a bold one, but I think the trend of teams the 3 coming up, go straight back down. I think that trend will be bucked this season. I don't think that will happen, and I take Sunderland to have an extra special season and to do well in the Premier League under their new captain, Granit Xhaka.
Ooh, Jim White back to Monday alongside Simon Jordan here.
Well, Sunderland's a complete unknown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, because they've done so much business. You know,
I've got my thoughts on Leeds
have done a good fair bit as well.
So. And I hope Dom Calvert-Lewin can stay fit and show the best version of himself for Leeds, and maybe they'll survive. You know,
seeing how big the average height of their transfers is like 6'2".
Oof.
Leeds. I mean, they had a small front three of Solomon, Nonte, and obviously Daniel James. So be interested to see what Leeds were like, because they play Monday night, don't they?
Yeah, Monday night live for you here on talkSPORT, of course. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it is Monday night.
Yeah, Leeds against Everton in the Premier League, 8 o'clock.
That's a draw. That's a draw.
It could be a good one, though. Even Jack Grealish in an Everton shirt as well. I can't wait for it. By the way, tonight, DAZN brings you 5 huge fights in one night. Unbeaten rising star Moses Atoma takes on the proven and dangerous Dillian White in a heavyweight showdown, plus action from Nick Ball, David Adeleye, Raymond Ford and Philip Hargovich. Don't miss it. Watch only on DAZN. And join us now to look ahead to the big fight. It's talkSPORT's finest, our boxing expert, Spencer Oliver, another big man. Spencer, good to have you with us looking ahead to this tonight. Spencer, we spoke about Gareth A. Davies asking Moses Atoma about the shower. Have you had a shower yet? Can you explain what that even means? Why would he ask him that?
I'm really not sure, Shebahn, if I'm honest. By the way, hello, Shebahn and Tony. How you both doing, mate? But yeah, I'm really not sure. Yeah, the whole shower incident, it was something that Gareth come up with ages ago, actually. I think it happened a few years ago with Dillian White, and he sort of rebirthed this week out here. And yeah, it was a long-running joke, and a couple of people didn't get it, and a couple of people, obviously Dillian did get it, and he just said he turned around to Gareth and said, listen, don't you dare ask me about this shower. So, yeah, only Gareth A. Davies knows what that joke was all about.
He's the best.
It was one of them moments, Spencer, was, you know... You see the boxer look at him as, what are you talking about?
What's it got to do with you?
Where were you going with this?
he actually threw it at young Moses Atoma as well, and Moses just looked at him in disbelief. He was like, he was in the middle of an interview, and he said, "By the way, have you showered today?" And it was just a little bit, it was a little bit off the wall, but that's Gareth, isn't it?
Tell us, because 9-1 on favourite is Atoma. Is that reflective of how big a difference there is between the young man that's coming, hit the ground running, we're literally taking everything by storm, up against a Dillian White that's had 2 fights in the last, 2.5, 3 years, Spencer?
Well, it is, Tony, but I mean, look, if you're a betting man and you was getting 9-1 on Dillian White, you go, that's well worth a punt, isn't it? Dillian White is a guy that is proven. He's a former champion, WBC interim champion. He's been in there with the best, boxed the best, and he's beat the best as well. He's beat the likes of sort of Joseph Parker, pushed Anthony Joshua to the wire before getting knocked out in the 7th round. So he's been around the block, and he's in unbelievable shape. When you look at that, Moses Atoma, although he's 12-0 with 10 KOs, he's never even boxed near that sort of level. So it's very much a coming of age fight, and a fight that we really don't know. Yeah, all the hype is about Moses being the next big thing in heavyweight boxing and next big thing in boxing, but he's still got to deliver, and Dillian White is that acid test. He is that live opponent. It's an interesting one, that, because the bookies, going that wide, that's a big gamble for themselves.
Such a huge amount of pressure on both of these fighters tonight, Spencer. Who do you think's under more?
I think that Dillian White's under a lot of pressure because it's the career on the line. Yep. It's make or break here. If he loses this contest, it's game over. And I think he recognises that at 37 years of age. He's had a great career going back to 2011. And as I said, he's sort of boxed everyone. So he's very much in the twilight. He must win this fight to keep things going. But he also, on the back end, if he does win it, the incentive is that he could get a world title shot in his next fight. That's what the game is all about. You either finish your career or you're getting a world title shot in your next one. With Moses Atoma, he's only a 20-year-old kid. Yeah. Of course, this is a huge step up, but if he loses this one, there is a rebuilding process. But I think that all the hype surrounding him, talking him about being the next big thing in boxing, he has to deliver as well. So pressure on both sides.
Okay, Spencer, thank you so much for being with us. Go and get yourself in the shower now. That's your time. The fight is live for you here tonight. And of course, it's live on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Buy now at dazn.com/boxing.
Fight Night live on talkSPORT. 9 o'clock tonight. Max Rushton, the audacity to storm in here like that. Oh, it's nonsense anyway. 12:30, by the way, here on talkSPORT. Aston Villa versus Newcastle. And we're back with you tomorrow. Cass, enjoy Spurs. I know they're eager beavers through there. Should we just drag it out?
Yeah. I'm off to Spurs.
Enjoy the game.
Yeah, Spurs against Burnley at 3 o'clock today.
We're both back tomorrow. Have yourself a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy all the games wherever you're going. Max and Charlie on the way next. Bye, driver.